This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
The stakes have never been higher. The competition has never been stronger. 42 drivers, 25 rounds. One will be crowned champion. Competition. Commitment, excitement. This is Lionheart. You're watching the premier American open wheel series on iRacing. The Lionheart IndyCar Series presented by First Medical Equipment starts now.
Sponsored by First Medical Equipment, competition, commitment, excitement. This is Lionheart. The curtain may be coming down on the Lionheart IndyCar season, but the fat lady has one more encore to get through first. Will the Rookie of the Year wrap up his title in style? Will a veteran go out in style tonight? Will a champion take one last bow? This is the Lionheart season finale and the Sim Experience Championship 300. Tonight, all of the simulated Dallara IR18 action of the Sim Experience Championship 300 at Auto Club Speedway will be live as it happens right here on the iRacing Esports Network and the Global SimRacing Channel. From the Golden State, hello and welcome to another GSRC broadcast and the Sim Experience Countdown to Green. Over the next 15 minutes, GSRC will bring you all the storylines, all the stats and facts you'll need to appreciate the Sim Experience Championship 300 at Auto Club Speedway. That will immediately follow as we count down to green. Coming at you live tonight, it's Richie Hearn alongside me, Sean Ambrose. I'm Jed Yaman, back there twisting and tweaking the dials for us, armed with cameras locked and loaded by the great Dougie Beard. Fontana, California. It's a place to be tonight, but if you've never been here or seen a race at this 2-mile oval, let's take a moment to introduce you to Auto Club Speedway.
Located in sunny California, a little bit to the east of Los Angeles, lies the Auto Club Speedway. This 2-mile D-shaped oval constructed on the site of a former steel mill in 1995 by Roger Penske and opened to the racing world in 1996. Auto Club plays host to regular NASCAR action every year in the spring, but has also played host to IndyCar several times in its past, including a closed track speed record of 241.428 miles per hour set by Gilles de Ferran in October of 2000. Auto Club draws a lot of similarities to the Michigan International Speedway as the tracks are sister versions of each other. Michigan has the more banking, but Auto Club is wider. Speaking of wide open is the name of the game for Auto Club, as the track's 14 degrees of banking that awaits the drivers in the corner really lends for some great racing. It is not surprising to see them 3, maybe even 4 wide in the corners here. Auto Club is notorious for chewing up tires. So as the driver, you have to make sure that your car goes fast, but then you also have to make sure that you can keep the tires on it. Auto Club also has not been repaved since the track opened, leaving the track surface to become very bumpy, especially on the back stretch and down the front stretch. All in all, Auto Club is a staple of every series that comes there. Drivers love the place, fans love to watch races at this place. Put it all together, and you have a recipe for surefire success. This has been our guide to the Auto Club Speedway. Enjoy the show.
Welcome back from that preview here of Auto Club Speedway. You know, my partner Richie Hearn has been on this track at full speed in real life in an Indy car, in the Indy Racing League, and I believe in Champ Car. But Richie, what are the challenges these drivers tonight really have to face here at Auto Club?
Yeah, Sean, and it's very, it looks simple, but it's a little bit tricky. It's a super fast track, very wide, but really what plays havoc with these cars is those seams you see. So you got the seams in the pavement, and as you cross over from the high line to the down to the low line, it really kind of grabs the car. So even though it's very wide, you got to kind of have to pick your lane. It is a standard, basically D-shaped oval, 2 miles long, pretty heavily banked, 11 to 14 degrees. You're going to see about 5 wide racing, but like I said, those seams can cause havoc, especially as those tires wear out. So we'll kind of keep an eye on that. The Countdown to Green is brought to you by Sim Experience, the team behind the AccuForce Pro V2 direct drive steering systems. By providing unparalleled realism and the most advanced tuning features on the market, the AccuForce provides a significant advantage to any sim racer, and it can also make for an effective training tool for real-world drivers. For more information on the entire Sim Experience ecosystem, including their GS5 seat, Stage Series motion systems, and the Sim5 software, visit www.simexperience.com, and please use the promo code SimXLion to get 5% off your Sim5 software. Sean?
All right, Richie, and with that, we will go into the driver standings, or, well, let's face it, folks, it's the final round of the season, what's left of them, but, you know, in the driver standings presented by First Medical Equipment, championships have pretty much already been decided going into this finale, but Adam Blocker has obviously clinched this overall championship, and, well, with that being said, he's also clinched the Road Course Championship as well here in the Lionheart IndyCar Series. Things will probably fall out just as you see them there, folks, in the top 10. It could see a change somewhere back between 4th and 8th place. Some points could still be gained there in the middle. This is a Triple Crown event, and that means double points tonight. So drivers could see themselves maybe pick up a few spots here in the end. But the championship itself is settled, and Adam Blocker is your champion. Now let's look at the team standings real quick, presented by Plasma Track. And we now see Adrenaline Motorsports Red clinching this championship this season on the backs of the effort of Blocker, Kinsella, and Brian Carey. Now, while the red and black Adrenaline teams have combined to secure the organization championship, but we may see a little movement there, possibly LPM Cancer down with a chance to get a little bit closer there to Adrenaline Black, but we'll see before this is all said and done with. Really, Richie, you've got to talk about where all the action's really going on, and that's in those Rookie of the Year standings.
Yeah, these Rookie of the Year standings brought to you by Butt Kicker. This is where the action really is, and it's gone back and forth basically all season long. And here we are, Martinez leading Wrigley by 5 points. Hill is not that far behind in 42 with double points available. But these guys, Martinez and Wrigley, they're the ones to watch, and we'll kind of keep an eye on them as we go. Boy, it's been back and forth, like I say. One time Wrigley's up top, one time's Martinez on top. And so this is where the real action happens as we go into the final race tonight.
Again, we'll be tracking that right through to the end, sir, and we'll keep the fans informed. But hey, listen, you're watching us right now on the iRacing Esports Network. You know, the best of the best in the iRacing World Championships, as well as many of top private leagues like the one you're watching right now, are showcased right here on the iRacing Esports Network. If you haven't done so yet, well, subscribe to this channel and subscribe to GSRC as well, because we're giving away free merchandise to a couple of subscribers here before the end of the year. But GSRC is certainly proud to be part of the IESN stable of broadcasters, considered the premier fixed setup racing league for this Dallara IR18 on the iRacing service. The Lionheart IndyCar Series honors the memory of the late Dan Weldon. And, well, with that, Richie, let's talk about the details of this final event tonight.
Yeah, these series details comes to us thanks to Minus 273, the premier name in karting gloves. For more information on Minus 273's full line of gloves and apparel, visit minus273.biz. Use the promo code LHRS for 25% off your order. And there's our series details. Working season 7 of the Lionheart IndyCar Series. Obviously, the last round, 25 of 25. It's been a long season. 3 driver drops have been calculated into the points already. We're running the Dallara IR18. The setups are fixed, but they have been adjusted to make it a little more racy. And obviously working on those cash and prizes totaling $9,652.
I was having to explain to somebody just yesterday, Richie, about how much money was at stake here in the Lionheart IndyCar Series, and they were quite surprised. In fact, that was like probably about 3 times more than they had ever even imagined what was at stake here in the Lionheart IndyCar Series. But what's at stake right now? That's qualifying on the board. And Big Joe Hassard, the Big Joe Show was on the pole. Ron Hacker just took it down with a little over 2 minutes to go on his second lap. So Hacker to the pole.
Yeah, and qualifying is not going to be really super important, as this is going to be pretty much a big pack racing draft fest. Although the closer you can get to the front, the less chance you have of getting caught in the big one. But you can see those times so close. 32.027 for pole. Dan Guerin sitting in second at 32.028. So it's something that's almost hardly even measurable. And we got 25 cars so far on the board with a few more left to go.
And the weather's pretty neutral tonight here for these conditions, Richie. It's kind of a warm evening, but it's not terribly hot on track. And like I said, it seems to be pretty neutral here at just after 8 o'clock in virtual standard time.
Yeah, that 83-degree track temp, that's really the most important one to watch, and it's going to be real easy, nice on those tires. So I don't expect the tire wear to be super tough, although if you want to hold that white line all the way around the track, you will wear them out a little bit faster. But I know that high line works really well as well. So I think it's going to come down to just staying out of trouble and maybe working that fuel mileage a little bit if we get some long green flag runs.
Right, and certainly a track where we could see them go 4, even 5 wide if they dare risk it. But there's plenty of room to drive out here. And Dan Guerin sits second right now. And well, folks, if you haven't been around, if you haven't been watching, might be a good time to mention that this is Dan Guerin's last race in the Lionheart IndyCar Series, at least for now. He does no plans to return next season, and we'll miss him. But we'll talk a little bit more about him and some of the accolades have befallen this driver before the night's over. Dustin Wardlow coming around. That's P5 for him. His qualifying runs out here pretty quickly.
Yeah, we're pretty much done with qualifying. Just a couple seconds left. And yeah, Dan Guerin's last race in the series has been a staple of this series for a while. Won a lot of races. He's finished second in the championship a couple of times. I'm sure he's looking to kind of go out with a bang and win this one.
And certainly capable of doing that. He has a couple of wins here already. So why don't we go ahead and jump to our starting grid. The butt kicker starting grid here tonight. It's Ron Hacker on the pole alongside Dan Guerin. Row 2 going to be Brandon Lipkeman. Paul Jenkins will start 4th. Row 3, Dustin the Candyman Wardlow. Hashtag Dustin Sings. right next to Brian Beard starting 6th. Row 4, Big Joe, the Big Joe Show starting 7th. And at number 11, George Anzaldo will start 8th. And row 5 will be Mike Rigney and Tony Showen.
Starting 11th is going to be Ken Hacker. Right next to him in 12th will be Brian Carey. Starting 13th, Tyler Groff and Connor Harrington in 14th position. Chris Stouffer and Justin Weaver bring up the next row in 15th and 16th spot. Samuel Ryman, 17th. David Altman, 18th. Brian Yozik sitting 19th. Andrew Kinsella starting 20th.
All right, Richie, we'll go back to row 11. It's going to be Bart Workman. He'll start in his 09 and 21st. James Krahola will start 22nd. In the number 4, row 12, will be Stephen Larkamp. He'll start 23rd. Damon Martinez in that rookie battle starting 24th. Row 13, going to be Christopher Reagan in his number 19 Delar IR18. And Mark Cohn, the Watchman, is starting 26th in this one. Row 14, going to be Jason Galvin right alongside Robert Bluen. In row 15, it's going to be Chris Lanini in his number 92 and James Brandt starting 30th tonight.
John Hill starting 31st, and Adam Blocker, car number 1, defending champion, starting 32nd. I think he's done that on purpose. This is give himself a little bit of a challenge. He has been the class of the field all year long, so it'll be interesting to see if he can worm his way up to the front without getting caught up into any wrecks there as the cars are leaving the grid, and we're getting ready for this final race of the season.
Yes, sir. They're rolling off of pit lane now, heading out onto the track here in Fontana, California. It's actually, the weather actually quite nice in Fontana this time of year. I believe it was about 60 degrees down there today. So I was down in the area this morning. It was a rather lovely day. Certainly a lot nicer than it is up here at 7,000 feet. So anyway, but it's certainly a track that I have to visit. I haven't done it yet. I will, hopefully here in 2020, but really looking forward to seeing the Lionheart IndyCar Series close another one out here at Auto Club Speedway. As they roll down the back straight here, which you can't see too well right now, are all the palm trees that line the back stretch there. Rather reminiscent of Homestead, another track famous for finales. Richie, got a pick tonight, or is it just let's just throw all the dice in the air and see who falls out front? Oh, you know what? We're meet greeting underway here in the Lionheart IndyCar Series. They caught me off. My bad. I'm sorry. Hacker screams out to a lead here. Not too much of one. Brandon Limkeman's got him close. Here comes Dan Garrett and Dustin Wardlow to bring him along.
Yeah, Ron Hacker getting a good start, bringing Dan Garrett right around the outside there. And Brandon Linkerman, all these guys packed up. You can already see it's going to take a little bit for these guys to kind of spool up their horsepower, but it's going to be one big pack all night long. You're going to be able to run 3 and 4 wide all the way around this track.
You know, you'd think I'd know when they're getting ready to start the race. Again, my apologies for blowing that, but boy, they are dicing it up here up front pretty quickly. Not Ron Hacker. He's actually decided I don't want to be backing at it. It is an absolute hornet's nest, about 14 cars deep right behind him. And then you've got a whole second pack that is spread back. That goes back from P13 back, being led by Tyler Groff and Connor Harrington fighting back there for themselves. Now a move for the lead. Limkeman's going to go for it, down into 1.
Yeah, Limkerman and Ron Hacker got really close together a lap before and almost had contact, but Limkerman's going to get that draft, going to take that inside line. Ron Hacker kind of gave him the opening there. And I don't know about leading the whole time. You might want to sit back and maybe save a little fuel, open up those fuel windows for you, but you can see everybody behind them just kind of spreading out as we ride on board there with Dan Guerin. And there we go. There's that pack just kind of spreading out. Single file down the straight, spreading out, trying to get some air on those wings as we go into turn 1. Right now, Brandon Linkerman taking the lead there. holding off Ron Hacker. Ron Hacker's going to look to the inside as they go into turn 3 here. Looks like he might try to bring along Paul Jenkins. Dan Guerin kind of falling back to 4th position. Brandon still kind of, he did get passed by Ron Hacker there, but he's going to come back around and take that lead back. Looks like Brandon really wants to just stay out front at the moment. Back behind him, they're kind of lining up 2 by 2 by 2.
Yeah, and Shallon's actually losing out a little bit as they kind of ganged up on him, have come around. George Anzaldo, Big Joe, and Shallon seems to be struggling down there on the bottom line here for the moment.
Yeah, and here we go. Dan Guerin going down 3 wide, right down to the bottom there, to try to pass these 2 team cars in front of him. Right there on the low line, he's going to get by him, it looks like, move himself back up to 3rd position. And right now, Ron Hacker and Brandon Linkerman just kind of playing leapfrog, trying to maybe break that group up a little bit. I don't know if they're going to be able to do it, but it's smart tactic to try to stay out of that hornet's nest.
Yeah, and 6 laps in so far, everything looking good here. Everybody being pretty orderly. I don't think we've seen any really big moves yet. Got a couple
right
of
now,
movers.
A couple of movers here. Tony Shallon from 10th to 7th. Ken Hacker from 11th to 9th. Big Joe's lost a few spots there, down to 10th spot, but everybody's being pretty nice at the moment. So
I think Shallon heard me. I think Shallon heard me talking about him, and he got back up on his horse here, starting to move back forward through the field.
Yeah, here comes Ron Hacker. Once these guys are just going back and forth, they're not going to be able to break that pack behind them, but they're sure trying. They're bringing along those teammates of Brian Beard and Paul Jenkins, and with Dan Guerin right in the middle.
Yeah, and Paul got really shuffled out on that one. Through the middle got shuffled out. Now he's got to find his way back up there, trying to attack it from the higher side of the track.
All the way through the field, everybody's just kind of being pretty nice. Adam Blocker has moved up from basically 32nd to 23rd. He's just gotten around Chris Reagan. So Adam's kind of doing his thing. I knew he didn't qualify there on purpose.
I think Larkamp's having a problem. Got a couple cars that got a problem. Larkamp is slow on the backstretch. See if we can see what happened here. I think we're going to try a replay on that now. There we go. We'll take a look at that now. Apparently trouble for the Pennsylvania driver. You know, I think he might be suffering with a connection issue. And that might be what hurt him, and it might have dropped him right back up into the wall. Oh, Yazek with trouble also, though. And you saw Larkamp blink back in, but Yazek gets in the wall. This we totally missed. We got it for you now. Did he make an evasive move here? I don't know. We're all going to see it. And he did make an evasive move that sends him right into that safer barrier.
Yeah, you can see he's got a little damage on that front wing, so you're not going to be able to continue very long with that. He's going to have to make an early pit stop, but unfortunately, if he does, he's going to go a lap down, but kind of change his pit cycle a little bit.
And we're going to try and go 3 wide for the lead between Brandon Lipke and Ron Hacker and Brian Beard in the picture now. And it's 3 wide just behind him. It's another pack of 3, Anzaldo, Guerin, and Shallon.
And Brian Beard is able to take that inside line. Although Brandon Linkerman is able to hold that momentum, Brian Beard's holding that white line all the way down the back stretch here. Brandon Linkerman, and that's going to open the door up high for Ron Hacker. Once again, they're kind of spreading out 3 wide into the corner. But let's give the point to Brian Beard at the moment as they go nose to tail. Here comes Brandon Linkerman, going to pick up that draft and take that position right back into turn 1.
Obviously, it's been pretty competitive, but not overly competitive. Everybody's still running here, 13 laps in. And looking at probably about 3 pit stops tonight in this one. We just stayed green all the way to the end. I think that's probably what we're looking at. Of course, 150 laps tonight. Probably about 40 laps max in the draft. Are your incidents and the deduction in points towards championship points. And of course, if you get 20 of those, you'll be disqualified and take minus 10 points in the overall championship. But again, that's probably going to get us to about 3 pit stops tonight, Richie. And well, with the way they're running right now, the first green flag pit stop we're about halfway there, and drivers still trying to find their spot here on the track. You know, Wardlow's been in an interesting battle back here with Showen, Brian Carey, Ken Hacker. This is kind of broken off into pack number 2 right now, as the top 5 have kind of run away just a little bit, but Wardlow going all the way to the top of the track. And look at that, Brian Carey to come right back up in front of him.
Yeah, those top 3 between Linkerman, Beard, and Hacker, they've kind of separated themselves out a little bit, as Anzaldo and Guerin have been going back and forth with each other. And here comes Dan Guerin. He's going to bring along Dustin Wardlow with him. And he's going to get that spot. Brian Carey's doing a good job. He's moved up into the 6th spot, starting 12th.
We were on board with Mike Rigney and the Plasma Tracks onboard camera.
Yeah, and he's obviously, him and Martinez are the ones battling for that Rookie of the Year standings that he talked about, and they're pretty much right together, as Martinez is running 15th, and Rigney is running 17th, although move Martinez up to 14th, so not much between them at the moment, and we'll keep an eye on that as we go, as we're already working lap 17 of 150.
Yeah, and those two in the same just amazing pack of cars right now that continue to just shuffle and pick spots up. We probably haven't talked about Adam Blocker, our season champion, enough, but Richie, he's come up 17 spots through the field already, and give him another one as he just got by Damon Martinez.
Yeah, and right now that pack he's in, if we go back to Dustin Wardlow in 11th and Connor Harrington 10th, that pack is starting to get a little bit dicey as I'm watching these guys run. They're trying to put some block passes on each other, and that's right where Adam Blocker is. So right now that's going to be the problem area at the moment, as these guys are starting to get, like I said, a little bit not so nice.
Yeah, my spidey senses are starting to tingle here just a little bit. There could be something could be going on here pretty soon. Martinez and Blocker continue to go side by side for this. And a little bit of a run up the track there. Almost brings contact. Man, they're really dicing it up there. Jenkins in that mix.
Yeah, everybody up in front of them are kind of running pretty clean, just kind of doing single passes here and there. But that pack there with Dustin Wardlow and beyond, they're going 3 wide constantly. So if we're going to have a yellow, it's probably going to come from this area. You see on screen this, they're going 3 wide into the corner, and eventually you're just going to run out of room. So Adam Blocker trying to make a move here, trying to get past Damon Martinez and Ken Hacker. And there goes Adam Blocker, move him up to basically 15th position now. Up front, haven't missed much up front. It's Brian Beard still leading with Limberman in second, and Ron Hacker kind of fading off. It's become a 2-horse battle at the moment. Dan Guerin trying to do his best to get around Ron Hacker.
Yeah, and well, I think the reason they've got away is because Hacker, Guerin, and Carey have been mixing it up for a few laps here now. And they have actually left Showen and Joe, Big Joe, just behind them. But these 3 here right now going to be really hard to pick up any ground on Lipkeman and Beard as long as they keep doing what they're doing. A lot of let me get out of your air, you get out of my air, and let's fight. That has brought Showen back into the mix here.
Yeah, Dan Guerin's been able to get around Brian Carey. So move Dan Guerin back up to fourth, our front row starter. He's going to go around Ron Hacker at the moment. So let's move him up to third. I'll tell you what, it's going to be tricky as we're past halfway on a full run. And if these guys have to do some green flag stops, coming off that turn 4 into the pit lane is really hard. I mean, these guys are going about 227 miles an hour, and they got to get slowed way down to get that speed to about 60 or 70 miles an hour. And we might see some problems if we have some green flag stops at that point.
And let me ask you a question. Are any of the D-shaped ovals that you raced on, are any of them really easy to get off of and down on the pit road that you can really remember off the top of your head? Because it seems like every one I've ever been on just...
Yeah, I mean, exiting the pit lane is usually not too bad. You got a pretty long run to get up to speed. But coming off that banking, like I said, they're coming into that corner, 220, and then it has that transition. You got to stop right away. And these cars are not designed to stop in a straight line. So with the camera, with the stagger and everything, when you get on the brakes, the thing wants to pull left. So It does make it really tricky.
And the field now starts to spread out. If we look nose to tail right now, it's Beard in the lead. And, well, it spreads out about 10 seconds, just shy of 10 seconds back to Larkamp. Jason Galvin, of course, way off the pace right now. And Brian Yazik has decided to park the car, I think. I don't think he's out, but I don't know if he's going to be back in. That car is parked. He's out of it, so hasn't left the server, but I guess we'll see if he decides to get back in before the night's over.
And Adam Blocker has now made his way up to 10th position, just passing George Anzaldo. So he's gone from 32nd to 10th in 26 laps. So that guy, he doesn't need to qualify.
Yeah, no, but I mean, the next biggest mover is Krahula, who's only come up 9 spots through the field. I mean, we're 27 laps. Blocker has picked up basically just under a spot a lap since we got started. But I am seeing some cars starting to really, really loosen up off the exit of turn 2, mainly on that run right there. Stouffer, that car really did not look like it was handling well when it got off of turn 2.
Yeah, and turn 2 is probably the trickiest part of this track, because as you exit the corner, the wall just kind of straightens out. So if you got a little bit of steering in the car, it really wants to kind of bring that rear end around. And we're kind of getting to that point in the run. We've run a whole 28 laps without any yellow flags. So I'm sure these guys are feeling a little bit of tire wear. And if you're kind of trying to run that bottom line, you're really using it up.
This was the racing I expected here tonight, to be honest with you. It's Auto Club. There's a lot of room to get out and run. Although it's been a long season, this is a really tight-knit group of drivers. And, well, there's a lot on the line tonight. It is a Triple Crown event. Big points, several positions still at stake, and a big rookie battle. So I think everybody came to race, mean business this evening, and not get any trouble here. It looks like the really big fight right now is still back there in that, I think that P10 spot. Fighting for it. Anzaldo, Krahula, who continues to pick up good spots here.
Wardlow, also up front between Hacker, Big Joe, Carey, and Dan Guerin. Those guys in Shawan, those guys are starting to mix it up a little bit, and that's kind of left Brian Beard all along up front. Although watching the car behind him, Brandon Linkerman, he's starting to wash up the track a little bit. So I think these guys are starting to feel that tire wear a little bit. We're getting closer to pit stops in about 9 laps.
Yeah, the push is starting to get a little real on those cars, and Wardlow right now in the wake of Krahula. I'm sure fighting the wheel here.
Really, what it comes down to is when the car is not good like that, you got to just kind of time how you enter the corner and on and off the throttle. And, if you go into the corner full throttle right behind somebody, you're going to lose that front end and it doesn't recover. So you got to learn how to time that lift a little bit and keep that front end underneath you, because as the thing starts to understeer, you start to steer more and more and more, and eventually it just kind of catches, and that's where you're going to lose that rear end.
Yeah, I don't think Wardlow felt like he was getting that timing right, and he backed off as we're on board with him.
Yeah, I just was on board with Ron Hacker, and he just about brushed the wall coming into out of turn 2. So he's starting to feel it a little bit. That's bringing basically Dan Guerin and Brian Carey back up to him. Up front, Brandon Beard doing a great job. Started 6 up in front. He's now got a healthy 1 second lead, which doesn't sound like a lot, but in a super speedway, that is a ton.
Yeah.
Brandon Lincoln kind of holding his own. Big Joe doing a good job, moving from 7th to 3rd, kind of holding his own in 3rd spot. But right now, Ron Hacker's kind of hanging on a little bit. He was our pole sitter sitting in 4th, but you can tell his car is just not really happy right now, and he's kind of holding on, waiting for that first round of pit stops.
Yeah, and the deeper we get into this run, those times continue to spread out even more. Again, Brian Beard having a phenomenal run right here in this first stint. But Brian Carey back there in 6th has dropped, let's see, or I'm sorry, Dan Guerin has dropped a full half second back behind Ron Hacker.
Yeah, Dan Guerin was up there, but he might have had to work pretty hard to hold on to what he's got, so he's probably feeling a little bit. Right now, he's better off just kind of settling in. We got a long ways to go. No reason to risk it as he's back in 5th. Man, Brian Beard doing a great job. He's opened it up to a 1.2 second lead.
Big Joe stepping out, making a move up. Brandon Limpkeman gets that done on the straight.
Yeah, able to get by. It's Brandon Linkman. You see he's kind of washing up the track, and as you do, you're just scrubbing that speed. And you know, if you can kind of keep that momentum going, you're going to pick up that draft wheel, make that nice easy pass.
Joe hasn't been very aggressive here in this this opening stint of the race. So a little bit left. And we got a spin coming off of turn 2. Was that Showen? It was Showen. Showen goes around hard. I don't know if he collected anybody else.
Yeah, it looked like Christopher is going to come up into the back of him and run right into the back. I don't know if Tony Showen had to lift to keep from hitting the wall, but Christopher just didn't time that very well, and Tony Showen's got some damage.
Yeah, Tony had to check up because of Carey. You're going to see on board with Stouffer here.
And you can see that, I mean, the distance that they're traveling, it doesn't take much to, you can't just get off the gas and slam on the brake. Like, you just have to make a decision and hope for the best sometimes.
Yeah, so he is going to get checked up. Car's going to come up the track, and you'll see the check up here. And when he does, that's the contact. And like you said, Richie, it just comes up too quick at speed.
Yeah, even if you get off the gas, you can't just slam on the brakes. So it's just one of those things that in the wrong place at the wrong time, unfortunately. Well, that's going to open up our pit lane. I believe everybody will probably be coming in at this point.
I think so. I think that was pretty convenient for the Lionheart IndyCar Series to get that opportune caution flag there. The entire field will run down here. I say the entire field. There's a few cars going to go ahead and stay out. They'll cycle around next time.
Yeah, we got a couple lap cars that will not be able to pit this time. They will cycle around and pit the next time around as they come down pit lane as we speak.
Big Joe into his box. Brian Beard into his. Cars continue to find their stops. Lemkeman makes it into his stall.
Ooh. Big Joe's going to beat Brian Beard out of the pit lane. So Brian Beard's going to lose, looks like 2 spots coming out.
Wow.
So Big Joe, I think, is going to be our leader. He got a hell of a stop. Brian Beard, it looked like he kind of was a little lazy getting into his box and doesn't take much, and he's going to lose that top spot.
Oh, and a great stop by Big Joe Hasser. It's going to get him restarting this race. But we're going to take a quick break here on the iRacing Esports Network from this race here in the Lionheart IndyCar Series finale. We'll be right back.
The Sim Pit is an entertainment channel dedicated to the world of simulated motorsports. The Sim Pit is a leader in providing the sim racing community with news, reviews, interviews, DIY pieces, and instructional videos to make sim racing a better experience for all. Check us out at thesimpit.com or go to YouTube and just search for The Sim Pit.
Welcome back here to the Sim Experience Championship 300 at Auto Club Speedway with the Lionheart IndyCar Series here on the iRacing Esports Network. Sean Ambrose here with my partner, former IndyCar driver, Richie Hearn. Get ready to call this one as we go back to green. The pace car is off. We are mean green and back underway here in Fontana. Big Joe Hassel takes him down at a turn one. Brandon Lipkeman following. Brian Beard, this really spread him out with the single file restart. And Richie, we're going to see some big gaps now, but it looks like Brandon did catch on to what Big Joe was doing. He's got him. He's going to fight him for the lead here into three.
Yeah, Big Joe had a great pit stop moving himself up to front, but he's lost that position to Brandon Linkerman. And right behind him is Dan Guerin, bringing along the pack of Brian Beard, Brian Carey, and Adam Blocker, who started last, is now up to sixth position. No surprise there. And we no longer have single car up front. We have a group of about 6 cars at the moment for the lead. Brandon Linkerman goes back around Big Joe. We're just going to play leapfrog, but here comes Dan Guerin. Dan Guerin's looking to the inside of Big Joe, trying to get back up to the front, and he's bringing along Adam Blocker. Adam Blocker is looking to just say, hey, I'm here. I'm the champion. Here I am. Going for it.
A lot of history at this track for Dan. Maybe his last race here in the IndyCar Series, but you know, he's the all-time leader in laps led at Auto Club with 142. A guy named Jake Wright, 121, and Big Joe Hassert is 3 on the all-time list with 106 laps. So Big Joe piling on to see. Look at that move. Dan Guerin with a big move to the inside, going to try and take the lead of this race, and he's going to take it away from Big Joe.
Yeah, he went from the top to the bottom. He's not going to be able to get it done, but he did move himself up into second spot. He dove from the top side all the way down to the inside, making it 3 wide, but he's going to try to go around the outside now of Big Joe, as Big Joe's going to hug that white line. Look at Brian Beard coming back up to get to the top spot like he was before the pit stop, sitting in third. And Brian Beard's going to take that inside line, make it 3 wide into turn 1, move Brian Beard up to the point man at the moment. And he's going to be able to slide up maybe right in front of Dan Guerin. Not quite able to do it.
Dan was number 2 in the power rankings coming into tonight's race, and he's going to be a favorite all night as long as that car is on track. Beard, I'll tell you what, we probably can't talk about enough the kind of run he's had so far. He's enjoyed being up front, but now he's fighting with Dan.
Yeah, Dan tried to make that move on the outside, but kind of lost the momentum in the middle of the corner. Brian Beard able to hold that white line, but here comes Dan Guerin down the outside going into turn 3. It's 2x2 with Brandon Linkerman and Adam Blocker right behind them, and a big pack of cars right behind them.
Yeah, that is a mess right back there. Stouffer's in the middle of that, and George Anzaldo. It looks like a big snake on track right now, just weaving its way around this D-shaped oval.
As those guys keep going side by side, they're punching a huge hole in the air. Ooh, in the back, it's getting a little bit crazy back there with Chris Stouffer and George Anzaldo. They almost had some contact in that 6th and 7th position. Big Joe's kind of fallen back. He was our leader at the start, but he has fallen back now. He's getting kind of swallowed up a little bit.
You might think there's been a lot of lead changes, but, there were 36 of them back in Season 5. Season 1 only saw 13 of them. I know we're probably past 13 lead changes at this point. I think they're going to keep dicing it up all night. I don't know if we'll get to that 36 we saw back in Season 5, but we might. This is a very, very tight group up here that continues to swap for positions. Right now, Dan Guerin's got the lead, and Adam Blocker has come all the way back through the field from a so-so qualifying effort to now being P2.
Yeah, he's going to take the lead right here. He's going to get in the draft of Dan Guerin. As you can see on our screen from up above, he's going to try to go around the outside. I don't think he's going to be able to make it. Dan Guerin's a master of holding that white line. He does that at all the ovals he runs. He's really good at that position. And now that he's got the point, he's going to be hard to get by.
It's funny on that start, that single file start, they all spread out, and it really only took a couple laps from all to get wound up, and now we see him at the front going 3 wide here through turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, Brandon Linkerman's going to want to try to get in the mix, and he kind of briefly holds the lead, but here comes Chris Stouffer. Chris Stouffer going to the bottom lane. He was back in that 6th or 7th position not that long ago. Let's move him up to the point as he takes that lead, but Brandon Linkerman's going to take it back with Dan Guerin on the outside. Adam Blocker sitting in 4th. He has nowhere to go, and right behind him, they got another group of about 6 cars.
Dan left the door open for him a little bit to make it 4 wide, but we're probably still a little early. But, Richie, we're going to come across the line with 100 laps to go here at Auto Club Speedway. And we're seeing a lot right now what we saw in the last run, a little bit of friendly driving, nothing overly aggressive, and a bunch of drivers trying to just keep the car clean here until the next pit stop.
Yeah, I was just going to mention these guys have been racing hard, but been racing real clean. And, the tires are fresh still from that last pit stop. We've only done...
we got Joe around. That was Big Joe, George, and Zaldo get together. And I'm afraid that's going to be big junk for both of them. I didn't see exactly what happened, but I think Kinsella is in that too. Let's go on board Big Joe Hassert. Try and see what happened.
Big Joe just kind of washed up into the back of George Anzaldo. George was kind of running in the middle, turned George around, and that just caught up a bunch of cars behind them off of turn 2 there. Yeah, as you can see on board, he just kind of washes up, and that's the end of their race right there.
Kinsella was right behind that when it happened. He's going to get collected in that as well. On board here with Andrew Kinsella in the Adrenaline Motorsports Red Machine. It's going to be an unlucky ending to his night. That damage was hard and heavy.
And fortunately, he had nowhere to go. Those cars were spinning right in front of him, and that's the problem with the big pack racing. It's exciting to watch, but if something happens, it does tend to wad up a couple of cars at a time.
Well, you've been out for 14 laps. I think we'll probably see everybody come on in again here. I don't think there's anything to be gained by staying out. Do you? No.
No, I
Everybody
don't.
does.
The way the race is going, it's been a lot of green flag laps, so you definitely don't want to pit under green. So take advantage of every yellow, and the pack is coming in. So we'll see how these pit stops go.
It was Big Joe with the big pit stop last time, and unfortunately, his race is over now. I'd so hoped for great things for Big Joe here tonight. Be great to see him get a second win this season after getting the monkey off of his back here a couple of rounds ago. But I'll tell you what, that's a big fight coming out of the pit lane. I think Dan Guerin got it.
Yeah, Dan Guerin got it, but we did have one guy, David Altman, decide to stay out. So he pitted last at 15 laps. Him and John Hill decided to stay out here. So we'll see how that works out. Move him from 18th up to first. And
Well,
yellow.
We've been talking about Dan tonight, and with good reason, because Dan's one of those guys that have been around here for a long time, and like we said, it's going to be his last race tonight. But look at the starts: 129. Big Joe is the all-time leader in starts, but 33 poles, 16 wins, 58 top fives, 78 top tens, folks. That's over 3/4 of his races in the top 10. Of course, best season finish. He's been second quite a few times, and unfortunately has never won this championship. But never say never. Dan might be back at some point. I don't know. We'll see. But man, like I said, being the all-time leader here at Auto Club in laps led with 142, now building on that tonight. He was second in the power rankings going in. I look for Dan to be a factor all night in this one. He is going to be missed, though, man. It's not going to be quite the same. He's led 2,533 laps. That's crazy. His incident average, that's how many incidents you pick up a race, 3.49. So think about that over the course of 129 starts. I think prior to tonight, he had just north of 12,000 total laps for 20,000. It was like 20,500 something miles. That's crazy. Dan, he first started back in season 2 at Michigan. But let's get back to green, and maybe we'll get a chance to talk to Dan in Victory Lane. I got a feeling we're going to get a chance to talk to him anyway, but we'll see. Richie, let's get back to racing as we get ready to restart. The Ford Mustang pace car has extinguished the lights on that wheel and light bar, and now they wait for David Altman and Dan Guerin to lead this field here to a restart. And the green flag is back out. We're back underway. Altman with a big start. Dan Guerin just behind him. Brandon Lipkman. Again, everybody spreads out on this single file start. It'll take them about 2 to 3 laps to get back together.
Yeah, we have Jason Galvin. Actually, he's a lap down. He didn't pit either, so he's stuck in between David Altman and Dan Guerin. But here comes Jason Galvin. He's going to try to get the lead and bring Galvin with him. So Jason Galvin, that's really the only way you can get your lap back in this series, is to actually pass the leader and hope for a yellow flag. There is no lucky dog.
Right, and I'm trying to see if Jason's really got any damage on the car that would prevent him from being competitive, and I don't see anything. So they're going to need to play this carefully, because Jason's certainly one of the fastest drivers in the IndyCar Series. Looked like he was a little tight off of 2.
Yeah, well, he obviously is looking a little bit different on the tire wear, but he's going to hold that bottom line for everything he's got. Because, like I said, if he can get a yellow flag as he's in front of the leader, he'll get that lap back. He has every right to race for that position as they're going 3 wide into turn 1. with Brandon Linkerman and Dan Guerin. Here comes Chris Stouffer as well, and Adam Blocker. They're all kind of ganging up on him.
Stouffer really had to back out of it there. Galvin now starting to slide back a little bit here into basically the field, trying to get to the front. Adam Blocker right behind him. Blocker's going to step to the inside. And it's a battle for the lead up in front of him. Guerin making a move on Lincoln for the lead across the start-finish line.
Yeah, put Dan Guerin up in front. He's going to try to get into the front of the pack. Adam Blocker's up to third, but he's got company with Chris Stouffer side by side as they go down the back straight into 3. But right behind them, they got a group of about 6 cars picking up that draft that they're opening for them. So once again, we're going to have a big pack here pretty soon.
And David Altman's decision to stay out right now, not paying off for him in spades. He has dropped all the way back to 9th down, not call it 10th.
Yeah, if he can just hang on a little bit longer, we can get a yellow flag. He'll definitely make up some track position, but it's not working out so good at the moment. Up front's Brandon Lincoln as Dan Guerin. Ooh, they get really close going into turn 1, but Dan Guerin's going to take that position back from him. Brian Beard back up into the mix, who was leading the race early on.
Nice to see him back to the party here, but here comes Stouffer.
Brandon Lincoln goes back around Dan Guerin. Chris Stouffer's looking for a way to get by. He just can't find a spot to do it. And these guys keep leapfrogging each other. He's doing a good job holding on to that position. Started 15th up to 3rd. He's got Brian Beard on the inside of him and Adam Blocker right behind both of them.
We haven't reported on the progress Damon Martinez in a little bit, but he is locked in a battle with Brian Carey right now. Martinez up 17 spots. Make it 18 if he can complete this pass on Brian Carey.
And his competitor for the championship is Mike Rigney, who's sitting last car on the lead lap in 29th position. So that's not looking so good at the moment for his championship Rookie of the Year standings. But David Martinez is doing everything he can to take that away from him. Up front, Chris Stouffer has made his way around back to 3rd spot. Oh, he was in 3rd. Sorry, Dan Guerin is in the point. Brandon Linkerman now is taking it back with Chris Stouffer still trying to find a way around. Brian Beard's getting squeezed at the bottom lane by Chris Stouffer, but gave him a little bit of room, so no contact there. Everybody kind of nose to tail on the backstretch.
Now, I think we said the record number of lead changes was 36, and I said I don't think we're going to get there. We might at this rate. They keep flopping the lead here. So many cars still very capable up here of holding onto the lead of this race.
Yeah, it's just nobody's able to hold that position. The only person who was able to do that was Brian Beard. Early on, he got up front and was able to break that pack as they were racing. But right now, everybody's just kind of just picking up on each other's draft and going right on by. It's hard to sit there right behind somebody and just kind of cruise. If you got the run, you're going to want to take it. So that's why these guys are just kind of having some fun at the moment, making clean passes. But as we get closer to the race or to the end, we're not quite halfway, almost there. But as we get close to the end, I don't think you're going to see these passes come as easily as they are right now.
And, I don't want to harp on it, but David Altman, we talked about the gambler decision he made to stay out. It's now shuffled him back now to a fight for 20th is where he's at, and Mark Cohn's now going to get by him. So Altman, I don't know exactly what the play was there, but obviously it didn't. I don't think it yielded the dividend that he was quite hoping it would. Obviously, Richie, I think going with that old golden rule that you shared with me once about tires being king. If you've got 14 laps on them, you probably want to go ahead and come in and switch them out.
Yeah, I mean, I can see where he was going. Cautions usually yellows breed yellows, so he was hoping that maybe they'd get a quick caution and he can get back on the group with them, but not working out so good right now. He's working basically lap 29 or 30 on those tires, so if he doesn't get a caution soon, him and Jason Galvin, who both stayed out, they're going to have to pit under green, and they're definitely going to lose a lap if they do that.
The lead is going to change hands once again here. Is Brendan Lemke going to go back to the point? This time he'll bring Stouffer with him. Just behind them, a move being made there. It looks like Brian Carey trying to make one on Brian Beard. And after Beard, after running up in this front pack, has kind of slipped back to that second pack now.
Yeah, he's in a heavy battle there with Brian Carey and Ron Hacker. Ron Hacker, a pole sitter. He's back into 8th spot, kind of stuck back there in that.
Yeah, and the pack up front now is littered with cars that have really done a lot of work to get here. Stouffer up 12 spots, Martinez up 20 spots, Blocker up 27 spots. So a lot of hard work, not much strategy, just really just great driving. And it's got these drivers up here at this point. We certainly have chronicled Adam Blocker's storied run through the field tonight. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, just being smart, making clean passes. Obviously, a little bit of luck missing those wrecks early on. But, yeah, those guys have done some work. Christopher, Martinez, Blocker, all started outside the top 15. And now they're all running in the top 5. So they've earned their way up there, and see if they can keep it.
And we had a big field tonight, and for what it's worth, Richie, honestly, most of this field's still running. In fact, Andrew Kinsella did get back out on track. Galvin is still running. Big Joe, unfortunately, that car is still sitting in the pits. And Brian Yazik have been out for quite some time now. But right now, Big Joe, Brian Yazik, the only two that have not stayed in this field. And Galvin back there in 30th stays in it.
Yeah, and he's the only car a lap down, so basically have 29 of the 32 cars all on the lead lap. Mike Rigney, guy battling for the Rookie of the Year standing, sitting back there in 29th spot. Unfortunately, he's about 8 seconds away from John Hill, so he's got no draft help. And he's 23 seconds behind the leader. It's only a 32-second lap, so he's going to be in danger of going a lap down here pretty soon.
Yeah, definitely going to need some yellows for any hope for those drivers there. And the top 6 right now look pretty fast, being led by Lemkeman this time. Adam Blocker slots in the second. Big Joe with the run on the top side, though. Or I'm sorry, not Big Joe. Dan Karen with the run on the top side. That was a slip. Joe's sitting in the chat. I happen to see that out of the corner of my eye.
Dan Guerin still leading the race, although Brian Lindgren goes right underneath him into turn 1. Adam Blocker still trying to get up there and get to the very front of the line. Hasn't been able to do it, sitting in the 3rd spot. And these guys are running side by side. There's not much room for those guys to go, but it does punch a big hole in the air to keep them in the mix. He's got David Martinez doing a good job up to 4th spot with Christopher and Brian Carey in that mix.
All right, so we focused on the front here. We haven't talked much about what's going on just behind 10th. And, there's actually some solid battling back there. Showen is back there in 12th. Paul Jenkins just getting by Dustin Wardlow. That's the driver I wanted to mention was Wardlow Down 9 spots right now, though, but the car doesn't look off. I think Dustin's just playing it patient here. He knows he's still got half of this race to go as we hit the halfway point here at the line. Wardlow back there being patient, and that dwarves Lionheart IndyCar. So keep an eye on him.
Right behind them, they got a good battle with Groff, Cohn, and Reagan. Bart Workman, all kind of working on each other here fairly hard. I was watching that just for a little bit. Chris Reagan doing a good job from 25th up to 17th, and right behind, in front of him, is Mark Cohn from 26th up to 16th. These guys are racing hard with Tyler Groff. So those guys are doing yeoman's work as well, just staying clean, just kind of steadily working up to the front. I would be really surprised if we don't at least get 1 or 2 more yellows, and then we'll have a big shootout here at the end.
Of course, we're on that butt kicker onboard camera there Tyler Graff's got this evening. Bring more realism and immersion to your sessions. TheButtKicker.com, folks. Get yourself hooked up with the butt kicker here for Christmas, for the holidays.
And while we were talking about the mid-pack there, we did miss. Adam Blocker did briefly get to the lead, although Dan Guerin's taking it back from him. So Adam Blocker going for the lead, has completed his run from last to first, taking him 78 laps to do it. So about halfway. Nicely done. He's back up into the front. And I'm sure Dan Guerin's not too excited about that. These two guys have kind of separated themselves out a little bit. David Martinez has moved himself up to the 3rd spot as they do go around. Looks like Mike Rigney is getting lapped at the moment. And Damon Martinez is watching that happen. Yeah, that's his competitor for the Rookie of the Year. So all David Martinez has to do is just finish the race, and he's gonna grab that Rookie of the Year's championship.
Mike Rigney carrying the Plasma Tracks onboard camera for us tonight. Folks, see it all at plasma-tracks.com, and don't forget to use the promo code here for just a little while longer, the LRS 2018. LRS 2018 to get 25% off your order. Do I have an old copy of that? Is it LRS 2019? I'm sorry, it's LRS 2019. It would be 18. And we got a big crash. And I think it started with Ken Hacker. No.
Yeah, Ken Hacker going up on his lid there. Coming off of, looks like turn 2 once again.
Yeah, and
going into 3 basically.
Yeah, he's going to make contact with Paul Jenkins, I think it was there. And I think that's what started him.
Oh, yeah. Paul Jenkins looks like Paul Jenkins was going down to the inside, just kind of drifted up right into the side of him, didn't give him much room.
We're doing on board here with Rigney. We were just on board with Mike Rigney and that Plasma Tracks onboard camera. Fat Dog Racing driver going to get a hell of a view here. And just gets by that. So Rigney is spared.
Yeah, he's spared for the moment. He's still a lap down, but hanging in there. But yeah, it just looked like Paul Jenkins just kind of sideswiped Ken Hacker there, and unfortunately, it's going to end Ken's races. Although Paul is continuing on, doesn't look like he has any damage. Everybody's making pit stops at the moment.
Indeed, and that. Really, Richie almost falls right into their window as they were 29 laps into that run. And, well, everybody gets that caution again. So this race really fallen out pretty well here so far for the Lionheart IndyCar Series. And it's part of the reason most of the field is still on this lead lap.
Yeah, it looked like David Martinez had a great pit stop. Moved him up into the lead. I don't know what happened to Adam Blocker there. Looked like he came out. My timing and scoring is not kept
Yeah,
up.
no, he in fact, Richie, he leads everybody out.
Got it. He is the
Yeah.
leader. So yeah, my
Yep.
timing and scoring was a little bit off, but yeah, Adam Blocker takes the point, but Damon Martinez jumps ahead of Dan Guerin to take second spot.
And you still have a few cars there that haven't pit. Of course, Jason Galvin in that pack up there.
So
Kinsella.
when we go green, we're going to have about 65 laps left. So we're going to have at least one more pit stop, maybe two, but one for sure.
And the lights are out on the pace car. And that's is that Galvin getting waved around there, I guess? Get Galvin going to the back of the pack. He'll still be a lap down, but Galvin will cycle around to the back of the pack. And the pace car now has the field. Adam Blocker, Damon Martinez, Dan Guerin, Ron Hacker, Brandon Lincoln, and Chris Stouffer will be your top six to get us started here on the single file restart here at the Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California. Richie, not much has changed on track. In fact, the track temperature remains the same. Now 83 degrees is what I'm seeing here. We are just about 9:30 in the evening, virtual standard time.
And looks like they're getting ready for the start.
And here we go. Pace car is off. The green flag is back out. Adam Blocker with a great start across the start-finish line. He puts a little bit of time between him and Damon Martinez, who's got a mirror full of Dan Guerin. Guerin runs to the high side, but Blocker gets on the hammer well, opens up a little bit of space between him and Martinez. That single file start has everybody lined astern except for the lead. Martinez goes for it.
Yeah, no way to get away from them. Damon Martinez picks up that draft, brings Dan Guerin with him. So moved Adam Blocker from the lead down to third, just like that. He's got Ron Hacker, our pole sitter, trying to get back up to the front, bringing Brandon Linkerman, who's been there all night. Damon Martinez up to the front, but now it is Dan Guerin and Ron Hacker trying to go underneath him. David Martinez up high. And right now, David Martinez just needs to stay out of the way if he wants to win that Rookie of the Year standings. He doesn't need to get in any kind of heavy battles, not at the moment.
You saw it there from on board, just how intense it is down here. Brandon Lipkeman and his First Medical Equipment onboard camera, your source for medical supplies and equipment in the Burlington, Iowa area. First Medical Equipment, always on board with Brandon Lipkeman.
Dan Guerin's right up into the lead again. He's got Brandon. Oh, no, sorry. Yeah. I'm wrong about that. It's Ron Hacker up to the lead. So our pole man has now moved his way, and now Adam Blocker has taken the lead as well. So
yeah, it's
Adam Blocker, car number one, position number one. He's leading that pack. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars behind him looking to take it away from him. And then we have a healthy gap. Looks like back to Tony Schowen.
Yeah, about a second and a half, Richie, and Schowen being tracked down by Brian Beard. Beard, though, I tell you what, his connection not been very, very strong this evening. I've seen some instances where he is, and boy, what a big check up there. Beard got all the way out of it. Showen has to basically almost stop the car in the middle of the track there, Richie. Let's look at the onboard here.
Yeah, it looked like Brian Beard picked up a huge understeer and had to get out of it to keep from hitting the wall. Unfortunately, Tony Showen was right there and really had to get out of it. So that could have been a big accident, but fortunately everybody continues on at the moment.
He gets the second time this evening. Showen's had to check up like that. And, well, like you said, that car does not like to, it doesn't like to stop quickly like that. And two very, very close calls for him. Things still very, very intense, though, up at the front of the field. And the lead continues to change, but it does belong to Adam Blocker for the moment. Here comes Dandy Dan. Across the line, he's going to take it down into 1 and out of 2. It belongs to Dan Guerin. And I think we have a shot at eclipsing the 36 lead changes back in season 5 tonight. We've got a shot at it, folks.
Yeah, Dan Guerin's not going to have, or Adam Blocker's not going to have anything of it as he goes right back around him into turn 3. As they come across the stripe there, it's Adam Blocker in the lead, but here comes Dan Guerin right back underneath him into 1. It's bringing Brian Carey into this mix as well. He has not been up there that far, so he started 12th up the 3rd, so nicely done for him. But at the moment, it's the Blocker and Guerin show swapping back and forth.
Brian Carey hanging there with him. Somebody's going to have some good fortune this evening here, Richie. This is starting to feel a little bit like a Talladega race to me.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be about track positioning near the end and just timing the draft just right. As you can see, kind of going back and forth. But like I said earlier, they're kind of just having fun, letting each other have the bottom lane. As we get close to the end, those guys are going to get right down to the white line and force that guy to go around the outside. So it's going to be a little different when we get to about 10 or 15 to go.
At the rate we're going, that won't be long from now. We've already put down 11 laps since that restart.
Yeah, working lap 93 of 150. So we got yellow flag.
Oh no, this was a big one that George Anzaldo was right in the middle of. Looks like about 5 cars involved in that.
Yeah,
it was just a big pack.
And looks like Chris Reagan got into the back of somebody.
It was somebody wheel hopped. It might have been was it Harrington that wheel hopped?
Yeah, it looked like
Chris Reagan. You're right.
Chris Reagan tried to go through the middle there and just ran into the back and wheel hopped somebody, and then unfortunately Anzaldo ran into the back of him, and everybody's on their lid. So yeah, if we get a shot from above, you kind of get a really good scene of kind of what happened. I didn't think that the door wasn't really quite open enough for him to go through there, and unfortunately took out a few cars with him.
Honestly, that's the biggest incident we've seen yet. That guy, certainly one that's collected the most cars. And poor George was just the innocent bystander in the middle of that one. I took out a couple of good race cars.
Everybody coming down pit lane again. So they're going to pit here, but they're going to have to pit one more time. So it's because we have 56 laps left.
Yeah, it does look like they're going to be relegated to at least one more stop if we continue, of course, under green flag conditions.
So everybody taking advantage of the yellow flag, get free tires, free fuel, and just kind of rack it back up, and we'll try again.
Very, very quick stop here. You're only in the box for somewhere between about 7.5 to 8.5 seconds. And Richie, I think with that, we're going to take a quick break here as we've got the pit stop sorted out, but we'll be right back here from Fontana, California, the Auto Club Speedway, the Lionheart IndyCar Series here on the iRacing Esports Network. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Sim Experience Championship 300 at Auto Club Speedway. I'm Sean Ambrose here with Richie Hearn. The Ford Mustang pace car gets ready to pull off, and Dustin Wardlow has the field, has the green flag. We're off and away. 54 laps to go here tonight. Triple Crown race here. The season finale for the Lionheart IndyCar Series. Dan Guerin gets away. Brian Carey gets away. Adam Blocker continues his run through the field, gets away in fourth with Brandon Lipkeman right behind him.
Yeah, Dustin Warlow trying to work that David Altman thing. He got 15 laps on his tires, takes the position, but here he goes. He's getting swallowed up. If he doesn't get a yellow flag soon, he's going to go right to the back, as we saw early on. But trying everything he can to get up front. Dan Guerin now up to the lead.
I know who wants a caution. That's Jason Galvin looking for a caution right now, trying to stay in the lead of this race, or not for the lead, but the symbolic lead, if you will, for him to get back on the lead lap. Oh, and it's almost contacted.
Yeah, those guys were almost 4 wide as Jason Galvin's trying to fight for his life to get that lap back. Dan Guerin's not letting it happen. Here comes Brian Carey, though. He's going to try to go to the inside of Dan Guerin. Into the front he goes, so move a new leader for the night. Brian Carey at the moment.
Carey is definitely a player in this one tonight. He has run very well. The Canadian having a solid run up there. Dan Guerin going to fight it back for it, though.
Yeah, he's kind of worked his way up there slowly. He started 12th. And he's kind of been in that pack, but this is the first time he's able to take the lead, although Dan Guerin took it right back. And here comes Adam Blocker trying to get back up into the front. Although Brian Carey's going to take it right on back from Dan Guerin as they head into turn 1. You can see on those shots there, right behind these guys, first, second, and third, they're like 3 wide, 3 deep back there. So as these guys shuffle around a little bit at a time, they're fighting hard for that, 8th, 7th position roughly. As you can see from our blimp there, they're going 3 wide down the front straightaway. And starting to get a little bit crazy back there as we get closer to the end. We got 49 laps left.
Yeah, the intensity level is picking up here just a bit, Richie. You can feel it. I can certainly feel it. This pack back here fighting for ninth right now, led by Stouffer and Jenkins and everybody. This is going to get intense here pretty quick. Here comes Jenkins now filling up the mirrors. Stouffer. And Jenkins going to look to the inside, just like everybody else has done here. That's the play. Across the start-finish line, down into 1. And Stouffer will cross him over, coming out of 2. Look for a run down the backstretch.
And they're playing the same game. These guys are up front. It's just kind of leapfrogging each other. And I know it's hard not to do, but it's not helping their cause, because as they were doing that, the pack up front is starting to separate out. So looks like first through about 6th or 7th is separating out. Well, 8th place to 9th is now about a second. And that's a lot on a track like this.
Yeah, in the break, we were talking about how we couldn't believe there were just 50 laps to go in this race. It has gone by rather quickly. We've only had a few cautions, and well, it's been that kind of night. It's been a lot of great racing and a lot of back and forth, and not a lot of carnage, which that's the kind of racing you want to see. But it's 2x2 for the first 4 positions in this race, and then you've got Justin Weaver sitting back there. We've not talked about Justin too much this evening, but that number 66, Delara IR18, the Moby Dickies Delara IR18, might have a shot at this thing tonight. He is thick in this battle, coming back from 16th spot here up into the top 5 now.
Yeah, Justin Weaver doing a good job.
You know, it's getting so intense, Richie. I honestly, the words are hard to come by at times. I find myself holding my breath. You know, when I look at these battles here up front, and the front pack and the one behind it, and I still see the lap times that keep coming in here. We're still running low 32s. The fastest lap of the race was a 31.4. So I mean, it's you know, we're just as fast now as we were when we started this race. Blocker, Limkeman, so close. Man, Blocker moved down back in front of Limkeman there, coming out of turn 4. I thought that was the end. Back on board that first medical with the camera.
And Blocker's going to send it down to the low side. Not going to be able to get that position as Dan Guerin holds around the outside there. Brandon Linkerman hanging in there as well. So getting a little bit hot and heavy up here up front. Brian Carey leading the pack, but like you said, we're like 43 laps away. Definitely have one more pit stop, but these guys are starting to play a little bit rougher up front.
Well, Guerin, of course, is a 2-time winner here. I can't think of a better way to end his Lionheart IndyCar season, his time here in the series, than to be a 3-time winner here. But he's still got work to do. 42 laps to go, and he's got to fight Brian Carey and a whole host of characters now behind him that are into this race. All of a sudden, which was about a 5-car pack up front, Richie is close to 10 cars now.
Yeah, all that going back and forth like that, all that does is open up the air, the pocket of air, so these guys can kind of drag their way up there. So it's not really just a 1-car fight. It's going to be about an 8-car fight for the lead, as we see now as Brian Carey goes back to the lead to the bottom line underneath Dan Guerin. Adam Blocker looking to take that spot away. He's got nowhere to go at the moment. Side by side into turn 3 they go.
It's a 230 mile an hour ballet, Richie.
Yeah, and honestly, in real life, that's exactly what it was like. What you're seeing right now is what we were doing in real life, and that's why we had such big wrecks there sometimes. But it does make it fairly exciting, and there's really nothing you can do. You got to stay in it. You can't just just back off or pull away. It's just part of the game, and it is a chess match. You're just trying to read each other's strengths and weaknesses and try to plan your moves out so that at the end you're right there with them.
I know every race takes a mental toll on you. You're exhausted just mentally as much as physically at the end of a race. But do these types of races take more out of you mentally?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You were wiped out after a race like this. Like this race in like Michigan, same type of track, same type of race. 500 miles of just constantly battling at that speed. You're just wiped out afterwards.
All those pictures and video have you ever seen of guys getting out of cars and needing IV fluids and everything and passed out next to the car? It's again, not just the physical toll it takes on the body, what it takes out of the mind as well. Until you've actually done it, it's so hard for me as a human to imagine it. In an Indy car anyway, I mean, go-kart's one thing, but 200 plus miles an hour on a track like this, totally different animal.
Yeah, it is very tough, and these guys are starting to battle harder and harder up front. Adam Blocker was briefly in the lead there, but now it looks like, and I can't even keep track on who's in the lead at the moment. It looks like Brian Carey is at the front, and Justin Weaver now. We haven't talked about him too much. We did a little bit, but now he's moved his car up into second position, although Adam Blocker can take that back.
He started to wash up the track there. He got some of that bad air. He's dropped back a couple spots now all of a sudden. But everybody at Moby Dickey's on their feet right now, cheering him on. Shout out to Moby Dickey's. Hope the beer is cold and the food is hot.
Yeah, these guys up front racing hard. You got Adam Blocker, Limkerman back into the mix. Dan Guerin muscling his way through. Looks like Dan Guerin's going to just take a move and try to go back to the front here. Wow, that's tough. He was squeezing up Brian Carey up the track. Adam Blocker's kind of gapped himself away from this. He's probably happy about that, but man, Dan is, for his last race, he is not laying down one bit. No,
he's not. And if I'm Blocker, I'm not even looking. I don't want to see that in my mirror. I don't even care about it. Blocker just, oh no, and off the track behind him. Another prop off of turn 2. Christopher.
Big wreck onto the inside.
Oh, and the caution does not come out. Stouffer's car dives right off of turn 2.
Yeah, he kind of washes up here and clips the wall, and he makes kind of a hard right, gets clipped from behind, and boom, right into the tires, stops the car. Game over.
Quick on board with Hacker here. But it's like you said, Richie, once it starts to go, you're just not stopping it.
Yeah, you're just a passer at that point.
Man, and Ron just gets by that, man.
Right in front of him. And unfortunately, what happens is he goes into the wall. He just kind of gets stuck in the tires, and because he's off the racing surface, there's no yellow flag thrown. So we move on, working lap 118 of 150.
What a tough ending for Christopher. Had a lot of time up here in the battle this evening. Heck, he might even have led a lap or two in this race, and I'm trying to think about who hasn't led a lap in this race.
Yeah, he was up there for a little bit. I don't know if he got to the lead, and but he was definitely battling up. Right now, Adam Blocker's able to clear these guys, but here they come, Justin Weaver and Dan Guerin trying to close that gap. It's about a half-second gap now.
And Richie, now we're looking at a point here where you've got 25 laps now on this run. You've got 31 laps left in the race. Field's starting to spread out a little bit, and it wasn't quite as side by side as it's been. Now you have to start thinking about the inevitably of making another green flag pit stop here. Or
Yeah, we haven't had one.
We haven't made one tonight. Now I think
No, we
about
haven't
it.
had one yet. So you're just going to hang in there till the very end, till you absolutely have to pit. It will be a short fill, but if you pit under green, you're shooting yourself in the foot. So everybody's just going to hang in there. But if we don't get a yellow flag, it's going to be right to that 40 laps.
And you
And
say,
I hope
what
we
if?
don't. I want to see it. I want to see green flag stop.
Yeah, I'm with you. But you say, what if? What if Stouffer's car doesn't plant itself into the barrier down there, and a car shot back across and triggered the yellow, and we might be looking at a situation where they would have made it. But yeah, I'm with you. I want to see him struggle getting off a turn 4 down into the pit lane here when it all counts and when it's all coming down to the wire, and it's definitely doing that now.
Yeah, and surprisingly, we've spread the groups out a little bit. We were a big pack there, but now it's just Adam Blocker. And then we got a pack of 2, and then kind of everybody's just single file. So as we get longer into the run, working lap 28, 27, those tires are having a bigger effect than I thought they would as far as being able to stay in the draft. That's the biggest thing, is when the tires wear out, you can't stay in the draft. You don't have any grip, so you almost have to naturally back off and just run in clean air.
And I think that's what's happening to Weaver behind Guerin. He's tried a couple times to get up there with him, but boy, gets near the turn and he's got to change his line, or he's got to totally back out of it. And that might be the same reason Dan's not catching Adam Blocker, because it maybe every time Dan gets anywhere near Adam's air, that car just probably becomes unstable for him, because they're now almost 30 laps into the run, and James Krahula decides to peel off first of all these drivers needing a pit stop.
Yeah, you do not want to pit under green, so there's no advantage to that, because even if you come out not losing a lap, you're all by yourself and you have no speed. Really, right now, the top 6 guys are all spread out. We got a good battle here with Damon Martinez.
Candyman's in. He pulls off. Does it by himself. Richie, back to your point about Cone and Martinez. Yeah, Martinez in the thick of a really big battle here between Cone and himself and Showen. Lots to drive for here for Martinez. Got to be careful.
Yeah, right now, Martinez has nothing to gain to try to make up 1 or 2 spots. He just needs to hang in there, as his biggest competitor is pretty much...
Oh, and boy, we almost see contact there in the middle between Martinez and Cone.
Yeah, like Martinez, he's playing with fire, because he's, Mike Rigney's 3 laps down, so all Martinez has to do is just finish the race, basically, and he's going to win that Rookie of the Year standing, so I'd be a little bit more careful than what he's doing. Oh, we got contact showing. Oh, no yellow. Wow. Sideways, clips the wall.
Wow.
Keeps on going, but that was literally right in front of Martinez. That was Mark Cone.
Yeah. Happens right in front of Damon. We're talking about him. We're on board.
Gets clipped right here and kind of does sideways. The wall saves him. The wall basically straightens him back out, and he continues on right here. There you go. Just straight and go.
Absolute pucker moment.
Up front, you're not missing anything. Adam Blocker, Dan Guerin, Justin Weaver's falling behind Dan. Even farther gap back to Brandon Limkerman in 4th. So really everybody's just kind of waiting it out. We're working lap 34, 35. We should be seeing pit stops here in about 5 laps.
Yep. I think we're going to get that green flag pit stop. I think we're going to get it. They've tried to take it from us a couple of times, but we inch even closer to it now, Richie.
Yeah, and this could be the difference between who wins and loses. Whoever gets off that pit lane or gets into the pit lane the best. Because at full song here, at the speed they're going, every second is 100 yards on the track. So that's a lot of distance to try to make up. So if you lock it up, miss your box, come in too slow, get a penalty, your race is going to be pretty much over. So we're going to see some skill levels here if we do get green flag stops.
Saw another driver back in the field peel off. Robert Bluins come in. Dragonfly Racing taking their final stop, which will probably be their final stop. 20 laps to go at the line, Richie.
20 laps to go and about 3 or 4 laps before pit stops. And then we'll have a short run to the end. Starting to kind of build up a little bit of excitement.
They've taken a lot of the excitement out of the front of the field, but man, I'll tell you what, back for 7th place, it's still a pretty good fight here. Martinez still trying to hold off Cone, Paul Jenkins, Bart Workman, Chris Lanini still back there, and Brian Carey comes in. Dominoes are starting to fall here slowly, a little bit at a time, Richie.
Yeah, it's surprising that he would come in. Like I say, there's no advantage to coming in unless you absolutely have to, because everybody's got to stop. So you might as well take it to the absolute limit in case the yellow flag comes out. Adam Blocker working lap 39 now of his stint. He's 1 lap ahead, or as far as 1 lap deeper into the run than Dan Guerin and Justin Weaver. We have a battle for 6. That's the biggest battle on the track. Everybody up front way separated out. Brian Carey back out onto the track. Takes a little bit to get up to speed, but if he had a good stop, he might be able to cycle around. But if the yellow flag comes out now, he's screwed, basically.
Yeah, basically. Oh, here we go. We got a couple more coming in. Blockers in.
Nope, not yet.
Sorry, not yet. I
Nope,
jumped the
not
gun
yet.
on that.
Oh, but right behind him, Dan Guerin is coming in. He's locking it down, trying to get to that speed limit, 55 miles an hour. So Dan Guerin's in the pits. Adam Blocker's able to go around one more time. He's always been really good at that.
A few others coming in. There's Groff coming in. Stephen Larcomp is in. John Hill peeled off also. Dan's the one we're watching. He gets into his stop perfectly.
Adam Blocker's coming in, locking it down. Justin Weaver's going to be able to stay out one more lap along with Brandon Limkerman. They're going to go around again, but Adam Blocker, our leader, is in the pit lane.
Dan Guerin with a very, very fast pit stop. He's in and out. We're waiting on Blocker. See how quickly he can get down off the jack and out. A little bit slower there in the stall. Let's see what he gets at the line. Guerin coming around. Blocker exiting the pit lane now.
Yeah, he's going to have it pretty easily as Dan Guerin's just crossing the line. Adam Blocker's getting up to speed on the backstretch at the moment. So he's going to hold that position. Although Dan Guerin's all up to speed here, he's going to close up that gap a tiny bit. But right now, Adam Blocker's going to hold that spot. Justin Weaver in his box. Brandon Linkerman in his box. Tony Schowen. All these guys coming in at the moment.
All these cars that just came in. Weaver's rolling. Looks like Lemkeman is going to come out behind him. Justin Weaver with a great stop. He'll come out in front of all those drivers that just came in. He's going to slot back out behind Dan Guerin. Just came by. Here comes Brian Carey.
Yeah, Justin Weaver's going to lose a couple of spots here, I think. He's going to take a while to get up to speed. He kind of reshuffled it back to where we were, just with Adam Blocker. Dan Guerin's much closer, though, to Adam Blocker than he was when he came into the pits, so he must have been a lot quicker in and out. And Dan Guerin has now picked up the draft of Adam Blocker, and the race is on for the lead, and here he goes. He's going on by with 13 laps to go.
And Dan Guerin trying to win his last race in the Lionheart IndyCar Series, become a 3-time winner here at Auto Club Speedway. Looks like this is what we're in store for the next 12 laps, is these two going at it back and forth. It'll be who makes the last move is probably going to be the one who wins this race.
Do you think that Adam Blocker would be a nice guy and let him win this last race?
No.
Nah, I wouldn't either. But it's going to be a battle of these two, these first and second, and then third and fourth. They're almost 2 seconds back, but they're battling themselves back and forth. And we're going to keep an eye on this battle here because this is for the win, with the battle coming to about 10 laps to go.
What would be tragic is to see it end under yellow and Dan not get the chance to fight for this win on the final lap. So you're going to have to get around a little bit of traffic here in front of him, and that's, let's see, who is that? That would be James Brandt. Brandt right now running in 21st. He did start the night in 30th.
We have about 17 cars on the lead lap. The last car on the lead lap would be Stefan Larkamp. Dustin Warlow didn't work out for him. He did lose the lap there as when he pitted. But the battle is up front between basically the two dominant guys in the series, is Dan Guerin and Adam Blocker.
Basically. Yes. Yeah, I think that was a good way to put it. Basically, the two. Oh, wow. What did I just see there? Dan almost gets in the back at a blocker. That was almost race over for both of them. Justin Weaver smiled.
Yeah, he couldn't get much closer than that. You got to be careful because that nose sticks out, and then that attenuator on the back sometimes catches the nose.
You know, Justin Weaver and Brian Carey are just far enough back that if something was to happen between these two, I think they've got just enough time to react, Richie, and possibly stay out of it.
Yeah, they're slowly losing space, these guys, so they're 2.2 seconds, but you're absolutely right. And they have about a 2.5 second gap to the cars behind them. So really, there's a battle for the lead and a battle for third. And then there's everybody else. And right now, it's not even worth calling. These guys are just going back and forth. It's really going to come down to, on that white flag, they're easily passing each other. One on the front, one on the back. One on the front, one on the back. So they're just kind of leapfrogging each other, keeping themselves out of trouble from the guys behind. But I don't know how it's going to go, honestly.
Well, it's going to be who makes that last run and how you time it there on the final lap. And it'll be 5 of them left to go when they come back here. Battle for 7th is this pack has been exciting all night.
This is where a yellow flag might come from. These guys are battling hard, and they've been doing this all night long, right around the 7th to 11th position. As they go around David Martinez, and he's the one that has the most to lose, so he's kind of caught in this hornet's nest, and there's really nowhere for him to go but to try to hope for the best.
You got a lot of the skid mark drivers up in this pack. Martinez looks awful good up there, though. He's got to get away from Cone.
Yeah, there's no getting away from any of these guys, but he really just wants to make sure if these guys dive bomb, just give them a little. Make a difference.
4 to go. We've got there. We're at the line. Dan Garrett had a blocker.
And we're basically at the point of no return, so if we do get a yellow, the race will end like this. Next flag ends it.
Mike Reedney going to get out of the way.
Adam Blocker setting up Dan Garrett there. Looks like he's kind of holding back a little bit. You know, he's probably figuring out that if I just keep passing him, he's just going to pass me back. So just try to hold back and make that one lunge at the line. Yeah, he's definitely not passing.
I mean, you would think, though, by now you've figured out where you want to make the move at, right? Where and when you want to make the move at. You've just got to do it. And here we go. Adam makes a move across the start-finish line, but this can't be the final move. It can't be his final shot at it. I don't know that he can expect to hold off Dan here for a lap.
No, and now Dan Garrett can just do the same thing. He can just kind of sit there and wait for that last moment. But it doesn't look like he's going to do that. Looks like he's going to try to go down to the inside and just take it back. They are coming up on another lap car here.
They are, yeah. There's a white flag. Oh, Adam going to go back to the inside. Lap car out of the picture now. It was John Hill that got by. Adam Blocker goes to the point, down the back stretch. It's a drag race to turn 3.
Adam Blocker holding that inside line. Garen's going to have to go around the long way. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it. He's going to have to keep some crazy momentum. It looks like he's going to cut across down to the apron.
It's the photo finish at the line, but I think Blocker's going to get it. I think Dan's just going to miss it there.
He had
what opportunity. He had a shot at it. I think he's going to get it by a nose.
Yeah.
Rest of the field come through. We'll have the replay for you here. But at the line, Adam Blocker is going to edge him out by a nose, folks. Dan with the big move.
14 thousandths of a second.
Wow.
He gave Dan the inside lane. He gave him a shot, but I think when he went across the apron there, you kind of scrub a little speed. And it just cost him just a little bit. And so that was a good finish there for those two guys. Good race all around.
Yeah, it really was, Richie. It won't be the closest win in Lionheart history because we've seen that, but it'll be one of the closest. And boy, what a race! And poor Danny finished second. Second should be his middle name. But folks, Adam Blocker, congratulations! As we sit here, we celebrate that with him. We want to remind you, you've been watching all this here on the iRacing Esports Network with the Global SimRacing Channel here at the controls. This has been the Sim Experience Champion 300 at Auto Club Speedway. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back with the post-race show, and there's a lot of it, so please stick around. We got some big announcements to make. Don't miss out. We'll be right back. And welcome back to the Sim Experience Championship 300 at Auto Club Speedway and the Plasma Tracks Victory Lane post-race show. You know, if you're struggling to find something for the person who has everything, do I have the website for you? Plasma-tracks.com not only produces original racetrack, wall art, motorsports trophies, home decor, and motorsports fabrications are also available. You know, words really can't do justice to the uniqueness of their wares. The only way to fully appreciate their artwork is to see it for yourself. But be warned, one visit, the next thing you'll know, you'll be trying to convince your spouse why you need a plasma track wall art hanging in your home. See it at plasma-tracks.com. Use the promo code LRS2019 to get 25% off your order. And now let's bring you 100% of the Sim Pit finishing order for the Sim Experience Championship 300 at Auto Club Speedway. And yes, it was Adam Blocker with the big win tonight. Dan Guerin going to come home in second. Brian Carey with a third place run. Congratulations to him. Justin Weaver going to fall just off the podium there in fourth. Brandon Limpkeman, after leading a lot of this race tonight, will finish fifth. Tony Schowen with the sixth place run. Damon Martinez, Rookie of the Year candidate. Well, he'll finish seventh. That's going to really help in his effort. Mark Cohn will finish eighth. Chris Lanini, ninth. And Bart Workman is going to round out your top 10, Richie.
Coming home in 11th, it's going to be Paul Jenkins. Right behind him, our early leader of the race there, Brian Beard in 12th. Tyler Groff in 13th. Robert Bluen in 14th. Stephen Larkamp in 15th. Our pole sitter, Ron Hacker, coming home 16th. The last car in the lead lap. Dustin Wardlow 17th, James Krahula 18th, Jason Galvin 19th, was able to get that lap back, and John Hill coming home 20th, 2 laps down.
All right, then 21st going to go to James Brandt. Mike Rigney in the double lot will finish 22nd. Sam Ryman will finish 23rd. Chris Stouffer, a 24th place finish for him after a huge wreck there. David Altman 25th. Andrew Kinsella 26th for him tonight. George Insalo 27th. Connor Harrington 28th. 29th is going to go to Christopher Reagan. Ken Hacker gets 30th tonight. And then rounding out the field here, we got a few more cars. Big Joe Hass at the Big Joe Show, 31st for him. And Brian Yowzik, unfortunately, was the first car out in this race tonight. But Richie, now it's time to take a couple of interviews here. And I guess starting with the winner of the race wouldn't be bad if he was here. And he is. There he is, Adam Blocker. I'm sorry, I wasn't looking in the right spot. Adam, congratulations on not only a championship now, but a win here at Auto Club Speedway, adding to your hefty total of wins this season and your career total wins. How you feeling right now, buddy?
Wow. Yeah, that was a great race. I mean, I guess first of all, I messed up my second lap in qualifying and the lap that counts and clipped the apron, and as a result, I ended up starting last. But I think starting last ended up helping me because I kind of figured out the line in 1 and 2, which is the most important car on this track, and really, passed a bunch of guys. And then, once I got up there, I was just trying to work with Dan or Brian Carey, my teammate, and just trying to extend the gap. And eventually one stint I got kind of out in front, and we went green from there. And green flag pit stops, I tried my absolute hardest on pit end to break away from Dan. Slid the tires and almost spun, but gathered it together and didn't speed and unfortunately came out with Dan. But then we had a great battle for the last 20 laps.
Well, you certainly did. How much fun was that race? I mean, so much at stake. You already had the championship. You're out there racing for fun. I mean, how much fun was it tonight?
Oh, it was a lot of fun. Normally, I don't really like this track too much, but the setup tonight really, really suited it, and I finally got a handle on sort of how to drive it. And it was a blast, especially Dan at the end. I didn't really know who was going to win. The lap traffic at the end made it interesting because we were getting toes and a little bit more dirty air than we normally did. And I was thinking the whole time, whoever is leading on the bottom end of 3 on the last lap is going to win. So that was kind of my goal, was to get there. So when I saw Dan, we were getting past John Hill in the last lap, and Dan had the lead going into one, and he left the inside open. So I just stuck my nose in there, and it stuck enough for us to be wheel to wheel down the back straight, and I was pretty confident we'd be able to get it. I'd be able to get it from there, but the problem was I pushed a little bit. He pinched me down a little bit, and I pushed a little bit off the corner, and then he got to the apron first, so he had a little bit of a shorter line, and he almost got me at the line. So definitely a great race, though.
Well, it really was. And I'll tell you what, we're going to fly through the interviews because we're going to get a chance to talk to you again. But yeah, for right now, we'll send you off with congratulations to that. We'll get to the second place finisher tonight. And like I said, we'll be talking to you in a few minutes here. You've got a bit of hardware to collect this evening, sir.
Yeah, see you guys in a second.
All right, we'll see you shortly. And that is Adam Blocker. A great effort by him this evening. And of course gets the win and pads his totals here for the season. But Richie, you've caught up with the man that, well, has made a habit in this league of coming home second place. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but damn it, I'm sure Dan would have loved to get the win this evening.
Yeah, we got Dan. Yeah, we were rooting for you. I even picked you at the beginning of the race to win. And you had a hell of a battle, and you came 14 thousandths of a second away from winning your last race. Just give us a little rundown on how those last couple of laps went for you.
Let's just start at the beginning there. Hats off to my team. Great qualifying effort again for those guys. Ron Hacker getting his first ever pole there. Brandon and Ron both swapping spots there for most of the race. Getting down to the end here, Adam had a little bit of a lead there heading into the last fuel stint. And I had clean air, so when I got on the front stretch there, this is like 3 seconds out in front of me. I'm like, okay, well, hopefully I can get a tow at the very end of the straightaway here. And I just got to him there at the end, and I took a few laps to catch back up to him. And as he said in his interview there about whoever had the bottom entering 3, well, he had the bottom entering 3, but I wasn't going to make it easy for him. So I was just waiting for Netco to hit one of us here, but it didn't. And as he said, he pushed up just a little bit, and I crossed up underneath him there, hit the apron first. My relative said that I had him at the line, but nope, that wasn't the case for iRacing.
Yeah, it was quite exciting. You guys were leapfrogging each other, and after that last round of pit stops, it really just came down to you two guys, and it was pretty fun to watch. And you've had a great career here on. We did some stats on you and how many laps you've run and how many laps you've led and all this stuff. So it's pretty exciting to see you have that good run here at the end. And I know you say you're done, but I bet you'll be back.
People keep saying that, and I've had some offers already to join again next season, but I've had my share here. I'm more than willing to help George out if he needs some help up in the booth. Cordy also, but definitely my team's going to come first. So if they need help, they will get all the help that I can.
No, I'm sure you'll be there to help them out. And I get it. It's a long season. It's kind of a grind. So taking a little bit of a break and maybe doing some other things is cool. But once again, great job on that season. Finishing second here tonight. We really wish you would have won, but I know you're glad just to have a good race, and it's a good way to end the season. And I know you talked about your teammates and stuff like that at the beginning, but anybody you'd like to thank?
Oh, of course, you guys, all my teammates there. I love the guys to death. Talk to them every day. It hasn't been a day in like the past 4 or 5 years I haven't talked to the guys. Just everybody in the league who's been there for me, who's helped me out, who I've helped out. As I said, you guys, my family, and of course my sponsors tonight. My main sponsor was Midwest Simulations, Scott Rupp, but then Dave Barber, Lock Precision, Tyler painted up my cars, graphics there, and Sim Racers for Mental Health.
Right on. Well, Dan, thanks for joining us here. And, we hope to talk to you again real soon, maybe next season on a one-off or something.
Hopefully, you never know. Thank you guys for everything.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Dan. And Sean?
All right. Well, that is Danny Dan Guerin, and we're probably going to talk to him again. Uh, Brian Carey, congratulations on a third place finish here tonight in Fontana, California. How you feeling?
Luckily, I'm starting to come down a little bit. I was pretty riled up at the end of that race. I got my hands off the steering wheel, and they're kind of shaking a bit. So that's it's my rookie season in Lionheart. And I hadn't done a ton of oval racing before this, so this is by far my best oval race in the series.
You know, I Richie and I towards the end of the race were talking about how in the real world how mentally draining this track can be, the conditions, the speed. How are you feeling right now? Are you just mentally just exhausted at this moment?
You know what? It's funny you say that because like it got to the point where it wasn't mentally exhausting until I was done. Like after that last stop, actually Andrew, after he went out of the race, he was kind of calling my strategy a little bit, and he called me in a few laps early, and he's like, "All right, you just need to do some like these lap times," and I was like, "Okay," and it calmed me right down. And it's like, okay, well, I knew what Justin was doing towards the end. I knew I wasn't going to catch the front two, so it's like, all right, how do I position myself to get to third place? And it wasn't until I crossed the line, realized, okay, I got it. I was like, oh, I guess it was a little bit draining.
Well, it's got to be very gratifying right now. You finish here in the final race of the season, your rookie season, a triple crown event, and you get on the podium. It's pretty good momentum heading into next season, which I expect we're going to see you back. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'll be back. I don't see anything stopping me from doing that right now, but it really chokes me right now. I kind of I lost the plot a little bit at Laguna. I made a couple mistakes, and after my second spin, I decided to make up all the places in one lap and binned it in turn 6, which in retrospect, had I just kind of kept my head and stayed in there, I might have been in with a shot for the rookie this year. But I mean, lessons learned, and getting some equipment upgrades for next year. So I'm looking forward to and ready to go for 2020.
All right, Brian. Well, hey, again, congratulations. We will talk to you soon. We're going to head off to a quick break here on the iRacing Esports Network and the Global SimRacing Channel for the Sim Experience Championship 300 Auto Club Speedway. We've got so much more to come, including the season awards for all these drivers. And we're going to talk to league organizer George Anzalo and everybody here at the team at Lionheart. But please sit tight. Don't miss a moment of this. We'll be right back. And we're back on the iRacing Esports Network at the Global SimRacing Channel for the Sim Experience Championship 300 at Auto Club Speedway Plasma Track Victory Lane post-race show. On to the IndyCar Series finale award presentation. George and Zalo, short night for you, unfortunately, buddy, but you were having a great run. But really, this night, more about the culmination of an entire season. And, well, time to start giving out some hardware, buddy. What do you think?
Oh, that sounds fantastic. So excited to wrap up our 2019 season. What a season. Just so many battles on track. This has been another fantastic year for Lionheart. What a way to celebrate our 5th year of operation. We can't wait to see what 2020 holds in store for Lionheart. And yeah, let's get this thing going.
All right. So, George, you're going to be presenting this. This is the, of course, the season champion. Now, the season champion is going to get $350, a plaque, a custom trophy from Plasma Tracks. Well, they're also going to get an AccuForce Pro V2 Direct Drive wheel, a digital pit box from iRacing iFlag, a butt kicker, a Gamer 2, or a sim kit, Sim Vibe software key for sim experience, a pair of minus 273 gloves, a hardcover book, a 13 by 19 poster, an Indy 500 hat, the 100th running Indy 500 magnet, 100th running Indy 500 lanyard, 2 Indy Motors Speedway shirts, and an 8.5 by 11 print, a couple of those, if all that wasn't enough. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, what a package. And we can't thank our sponsors enough for stepping in and being able to provide this type of package for not only our season champion, but as you guys will see in the coming minutes, the rest of the recipients of the various awards that we do. But certainly, I want to go ahead and thank Adam Blocker on his second championship. What a season. You clinched it early. You've been there all year. You certainly have fought with some of the best guys on iRacing and certainly the best in Lionheart. You've proven yourself again. We couldn't be more proud of you. You've done a fantastic job, and we want to go ahead and thank you on behalf of First Medical Equipment, all of the 2019 sponsors, the admin team and drivers. Adam Blocker, congratulations. You are a Lionheart IndyCar Series 2019 champion. Great job. Congratulations, Adam.
Yeah, thanks, George. Yeah, definitely. First of all, I want to thank all the sponsors: Plasma Tracks, Sim Experience, iRacing, iFlag, Butt Kicker, and Sim Experience minus 273 for, and George for all the prize donations. Definitely want to thank all the admins for all the work they do. They're the reason that we're on such a big stage in terms of viewership and in terms of prizes and all that stuff. So definitely want to thank them for that. But mostly I want to thank all the competitors that make this league what it is. Especially people like Dan, who I had a great fight with tonight, all night. People like Galvin that made the Milwaukee finish amazing with me. My team, like Andrew and I finished in 1-2 at the Indy 500 was awesome. Just working with guys like Tony, Brian, Chris, and Joe all season's been great as usual. Yeah, and I just want to thank you guys for all the great moments throughout the season.
Congratulations.
All right, and so that is congratulations to Adam Blocker. Now, George, we're going to bring Alex Saunders in, and we're going to go ahead and let him present the Oval Championship, presented, of course, by Butt Kicker. Now, the winner of this championship is, of course, going to get a $50 plaque, $50 and a plaque. A Butt Kicker, Gamer 2, or Sim Kit, one of their choosing there, the Sim Vibe software key for the Sim Experience, a GMP Sprint Car diecast, 2 IMS shirts, and a couple of posters, and a couple of prints and a poster. So, Alex, who's our winner of the Oval Championship this evening?
Well, I think he showed the form tonight that got him the Oval Championship over the entire season. So hopefully he did not go too far. But I'm proud to present the Oval Championship presented by Butt Kicker. Adam Blocker takes home that one as well.
Yeah, thanks. First of all, the diecast sprint car sounds pretty cool, but yeah, it means a lot doing the Oval Championship, especially coming in. A lot of guys, including myself, consider me to be more of a road guy, quote unquote. So it definitely means a lot to sort of prove myself on the ovals this season and kind of show that I can be competitive everywhere. So yeah, thanks everyone for the hard racing on ovals.
You know, Adam, Alex, don't go too far here, because while we're here, why don't we go ahead and throw in the road championship presented by Sim Experience, and for that you're going to get $50, another $50, a plaque, another plaque, and well, I guess you're going to get the gamer too and the sim kit, because you can get your choice of two, and well, you've won those now. And more sim vibe software, couple of IMS shirts. So you're really racking it up here, man. A couple of more prints, another poster. So Alex, I'll let you go ahead and give him the road championship too.
Yeah, a little less suspense in this one. Adam, you had a kind of an all-time road season here. 7 wins out of 9 races is quite a result. Quite a great season, and I know how quick you are from racing with you in retro as well. So, yeah, the road championship presented by Sim Experience is also going to Adam Blocker. Great season, road, oval, you can do it all.
Yeah, thanks. Definitely the road courses this year were pretty awesome as usual, and definitely one of the highlights for me was racing Belle Isle doubleheader. That was really cool. Hope we get to do that again sometime. But yeah, just want to thank everybody for the competition on road, especially Sage Karam, George Sandman, Dan Guerin, all the guys that I had good fights with on road.
All right. Well, hey, Adam, congratulations. I don't know if you got the next award or not. It probably don't go too far. Let's bring Brandon Limkeman in, because he gets to present a really special one here. This is the Dan Weldon Driver of the Year Award presented by his company, First Medical Equipment. And the Driver of the Year is going to get $75 and a plaque, an Indy 500 hat, the Dan Weldon hardcover book, the 100th running Indy 500 magnet, that 100th running Indy 500 lanyard, a couple of Indy Motor Speedway t-shirts, a poster, and a couple of prints. Brandon, great to talk to you. Great run tonight, sir. By the way, really was excited to see you out there running for a possible victory tonight. You can't be too disappointed with a top 5, but buddy, who's going to win the Dan Weldon Driver of the Year award tonight?
I got a word or two before we're going to get to that.
Oh no, you're going to get us all sappy and choked up, aren't you?
No.
Comes, folks.
No,
okay,
no,
right.
Not this time.
Okay, all right, not this time.
But
all right.
I do have the distinct pleasure of presenting the 2019 Driver of the Year award for the 4th season, with some caveats. As I think about this award through the season, many names come to mind for many various reasons, and in the past, it has been less about race performance and more about Lionheart itself. This year, it's a bit different. Part of the reason for that is it's incredibly easy to look at our leaders and the admin team and select them for this award because of the immense amount of behind-the-scene work that they do to give us a great program to run under and give their time and effort to keep this league at the level that we all want to race at. This year, I didn't want to follow that formula, but if you'll indulge me, I would like to give a tip of the hat to some more than honorable mentions that deserve to be thanked. Andrew Kinsella has given us untold amounts of personal time through the years to create our sets, and then has to listen to us complain about how much we hate this and that whenever he's done. It's an impossible task to please all of us with a car that we love to drive, so I make it a mission to always thank him whenever I'm pleased with how my car drives. And I drive through and try to learn the sets that don't suit my style so well. He rarely gets credit when he nails it and has to fend off the wolves when he doesn't. So it's a very thankless job that we give him, and I want to recognize his personal effort for all of us. We are truly grateful that we can count on you, Andrew. Most of the time. Pierre has moved into the booth this year after being a solid upfront contender and a clean driver, and together with Cordy, in my opinion, have done a great job this year of implementing on-the-fly penalties and calls, which is incredibly hard to do and is, again, a very thankless job. Because when the boys come on the mic, it's never good news. I've been the recipient of a couple of those calls this season, deservedly, and I want to give an extra special thanks to them for taking their free time to referee this crazy group of competitive guys to the best of their ability and having the big shoulders to do so. Another quick tip of the hat to Tyler Graff, who arguably would be my pick for the most Lionhearty of our group this year. Tyler is always involved with many moving parts of Lionheart, including doing many of the paints for the fellas, but also genuinely wanting to further our league by being available, helpful, concerned, and overall a pat-on-the-back guy. He's a proprietor of ideas, some completely out in left field, where we have to stop him for a second and go, "No, I don't think so, bud," and others that completely make sense. That's the kind of out-of-the-box thinking that needs to continue for Lionheart, even if sometimes it's crazy. Thank you for Tyler for being our, and I'm putting up air quotes, crazy. After looking at those examples, it's easy to see why picking admins for this award seems like a shoo-in. I wanted to avoid that this year as there's about to be a change in the program. I contacted George about halfway through the season and let him know that next year, 2020, will be First Medical's 5th season as the main sponsor for Lionheart, and also the last. It's time for a new lead that fits our sport more conducively. As you can imagine, it's hard to get our boys to rally around the idea of a raffle for a new wheelchair or a walker. But it has been a pleasure to be involved in the series, and nothing short of complete professionalism exhibited by the team through the years, so I have no worries about Lionheart's future. That being said, next year I'm just picking whoever the hell I want, and to heck with y'all. So be prepared for that. Now, with the pleasantries out of the way, the 2019 pick for Driver of the Year. This gentleman has been a pure joy to drive around with and against. He used to be a bit of a measure for me, a friendly rival, but his racecraft and speed have improved so greatly that not only do I have to concede, but it's been noticed by many people throughout the league. Not just my team, but many a person has said, "Wow, he's fast." He sometimes stumbles on bad luck, and very similar to myself, that strangely seems to happen to him a lot of times when he's really excelling for that week. He's been the receptor of my mistakes more than once, and always takes them in stride, which is always appreciated. No one wants to be the guy that hurts another's race, but it's always helpful when an apology is recognized in good faith. I'd like to give you a few numbers if I could, and one that's just astronomical, just as a gauge. I know this award isn't supposed to be about numbers, but in this case it matters. He put himself inside the top 10 in points prior to this writing, which in this field is exceptional. It used to be when I started that you hoped for a top 10. Now you actually work for it. He has 9 top 10s. That's just under half the races we run, road and oval alike, that he's been a contender with an incident average of 2.67, which I may or may not have contributed to. We won't talk about that. But that means he did his work cleanly, which is always something to strive for. Those tidbits do not compare to the big one, which he may not even know. As of this writing, prior to the finale, he has clocked 15,116 practice laps. The league total requirement for the season is 2,505. So he has essentially put in 603% effort to improve and prepare himself for every Wednesday night battle. He's run a minimum of 300 laps at every track we visited, including road races, with the exception of one. That's called dedication. And all of that dedication has answered in kind with results. So without any further ado, the 2019 pick for Driver of the Year is Mr. Brian Beard, for all of the reason above, with a dedication kicker and generally being a great competitor. Congratulations, Brian.
Woo! Way to go, Brian.
Thanks, Brian.
Wow.
Well done, Brian.
Wow. Thank you guys. I'm about half choked up after hearing all that. I wasn't expecting that at all. Thank you guys so much. I work really hard to prepare, and you guys push me as well. And I couldn't have done this without you guys on the track, honestly. Couldn't have done it without my teammates either. God, I'm almost speechless because I just totally wasn't expecting this. I love this league, and I do everything I can to prepare for a race. And I really love all you guys. I really do. And it's an honor. It really is. It's truly an honor. And I got to thank my teammates, Scotty, Paul, Jay, and Bart, and all of our sponsors, George, the admin team. I know how much time it takes to put all the work in that you guys do. And wow, I don't even know what to say, but just thank you guys very, very much.
Congratulations, Brian. Quite an achievement, man. I didn't know you were going to win it either. So,
Sean?
so
Sean?
I'm just as choked up as you are. Yes, George.
Sean, if I may add something, and Brian, you can clarify some of this story, but the story behind Brian Beer joining Lionheart is got to be one of the most special ones that I've heard. And again, clarify me if I'm wrong, Brian. But Brian had mentioned to me that he, on just random chance, happened to see a Lionheart race being streamed by the Global SimRacing Channel. It was that race that drove him to do more research to find out exactly what it was that he was watching. And so after that, he found iRacing, found Lionheart, and it was that broadcast that drove him to join our series. He wanted to be a part of it. And the fact that, his love for racing, his love for IndyCar, his love for competition, his camaraderie amongst all the members was such a driving factor to bring him. It was fate, basically, that brought Lionheart and Brian Beard together here. And what an amazing pick, Brandon. So yeah, I just had to share that story of how Brian found us, and I thought it was something really special and something that has stood out to me ever since that I met you, Brian. And just like Brandon said, you've been a fantastic competitor, amazing guy to be around. You're always part of the community. You're everything that Lionheart hopes to be, and what an amazing pick, Brandon. So again, congratulations on behalf of First Medical and the admin team and Lionheart in general. Thanks. You did a great job.
Yeah, thank you, Brandon. I really appreciate it. And yeah, you're spot on, George. I didn't even have a computer. And I seen a Lionheart race on YouTube, and that pretty much was it. It drove me to get in, and my goal was to get to Lionheart. That was my goal.
Well, again, congratulations, Brian. Let's we still have quite a few awards to bring out here. So let's go ahead and get on now to the Butt Kicker Rookie of the Year award. And Pierre, our good old friend Pierre Daguerre is going to come in. And Pierre, you get to hand out the hardware in what was a very, very close fight all the way down to the final race in this amazing Rookie of the Year battle.
Yes, the gap between the two drivers before tonight was 4 points. So almost every position mattered for this award. So the winner will win a $75 deposit into his PayPal account, a plaque, a butt kicker, a SimVide software key from Sim Experience, and a set of 4 custom coasters from Viva Motorsports, as well as a few goodies from the Indy 500s, including magnets, lanyards, shirts, etc. And the winner tonight, and I want to congratulate also both drivers, Mike Rigney, who fought amazingly all season long, but sadly came up just short. The winner tonight is Damon Martinez for the Rookie of the Year.
Thank you.
Well, Pierre, tell you what, Damon, that's a pretty big splash you made this season here in the Lionheart IndyCar Series. How you feeling about that right about now?
Feel pretty good. It really came down to, I feel like there was a lot of bad luck I had on holes, and I had to go hard in some of the road courses where I gained most of my points on Rigney throughout the season, and then last 2 ovals, I just had to put my car in front of his and hope for the best and keep it in there, and it came down to the wire. And then, fortunately for him, he had a bad luck tonight, but his bad luck was my fortune, I guess.
Well, it certainly was, and well, you come out with this rookie of the year battle. It was it was a fight right down to the final race. That's all you can really ask for. We're happy for you. Congratulations. We're going to move on now to the team championship. This is the 3-car championship presented by Plasma Tracks, and we've got Tyler Graff here to talk about that one. Tyler, what's at stake here in the team championship?
So for the team championship, which is the 3-car championship, it is $300 divided between the 3 of them. 2 Indianapolis Motor Speedway shirts, and per person, actually. I was going to say, how do they share 2 shirts? And 2 8.5 by 11 prints for each driver. And this team, if there's a Penske Perfect for Lionheart, it's probably this team. Adrenaline Motorsports Red is the team champion this season. Adam Blocker, Andrew Kinsella, and Brian Carey.
Wow.
Thanks, Tyler.
Congratulations, guys.
Thanks, Tyler. Thanks, Sean. Very, very happy with how we did this year, especially getting Brian in this year as a rookie. Actually managed to get second in the team championship with his podium this race. And of course, Adam and I, we worked so well together last year, and we worked well again this year. And just hats off to the whole team. Everyone did a great job, and very, very happy to take this one home.
Indeed, and you guys are splitting the money, right? That's correct.
We are splitting it, yes.
Okay.
Even though Adam did most of the work.
There are going to be like strengths of feet or anything like that. Feats of strength to decide who actually gets all the money. You guys are actually going to split it.
Oh, I wish there was feats of strength, because I would definitely take home most of it.
Okay. All right. That's what I thought.
Disagree, but whatever.
All right. Let's roll on to the boy, I'm going to get this out, guys. I promise. Tyler, don't go far. We've got the organization championship presented by Plasma Tracks, and who you got for us there, buddy?
So the organization champions get $270, 13 by 19 custom team championship poster for each member, and thought my list was longer. I was correct. So the team that won this award is basically double Penske Perfect in this situation. Imagine having 2 Will Powers behind you. That's terrifying. Adrenaline Motorsports Organization will win the 2019 team or organization championship.
All right. Congratulations.
Thanks, guys.
Go. Anybody from the team?
Yeah, I guess I could
speak up.
Come on, we got to get the rookie in here.
I'll jump in here. I'll take the organizational championship here with jumping on the coattails of basically everyone here, like Chris and Joe and Tony, and obviously Andrew and Adam. It's been a fun season. It was great working with these guys all year. Andrew I've known for a while now. The rest of them just starting to know, but really love driving with these guys, and it was great that we're able to pull it out during the entire season. So it's been a lot of fun. And per Tyler's the t-shirt thing, if it comes down to it, if it's only 2 for the 3 of us, Andrew and I can share one. It'll be fine.
Okay. All right.
Tyler.
Tyler,
there will be pictures.
Awesome. I might.
Yeah. Well, pictures or it didn't happen exactly. Tyler, while we're here, let's go ahead and knock out the cleanest team award, because this one came right down to the wire, and you know who won that award. So why don't you give it up?
Yeah. So the cleanest team award for this season goes to Synergy East. They will receive $75 split amongst all the drivers. And if I'm correct by my list here, drivers are Dan Guerin, George, who's on your team?
Dan Guerin, Dustin Wardlow, and who else? Speak up.
Ron Hacker.
That's right.
That's right. That's right.
Yes. Ron's not here though.
It's getting late. I apologize.
These guys have they've driven a fantastic season. Obviously, as you guys know, we made some changes to the team structure for this season, where we went from a total of 5 drivers and taking the top 3 finishers for each race. We basically split that in half and added a driver, created the organizations, and splitting the teams into 3. This allowed obviously for more teams to compete this year, but also to allow some of those 3-car teams to shine. And they definitely did this season. Each driver counted for each team, so there essentially were no drops. It was the best of 3, so each driver had to bring it this season. Definitely proud of the guys. They ran a fantastic year. So on behalf of minus 273, Synergy will accept that award. So those guys did a fantastic job. Congratulations to them.
All right, and
said that way better than me, George.
Congratulations, guys! A great effort and a hard award to pick up, for that matter. So, let's go ahead and roll on here. Going to the cleanest driver. Now, this is certainly a challenging one to pick up. And Pierre back with us. The cleanest driver award presented by minus 273. Pierre, what are they taking home with him?
So $50 to start off with. And I want to say this is the oldest Lionheart Award, by the way. It was given out in the first season. So it is kind of a little more prestigious than most awards, in my opinion. But yeah, $50, a pair of minus 273 gloves that are really amazing if you've ever held them in your hands. The Indy 500 hat, a Dan Weldon 1/18 die cast, and also once again a couple of goodies from the 100 running of the Indy 500. Sadly, the winner of the award is not in the chat with us right now, but we will reach out to him to give him all his goodies. Congratulations to John Hill on being the cleanest driver for 2019.
John, are you with us?
No, sadly, yeah.
Oh, he's not.
He's not with
Okay.
us.
All right. Well, then we'll move on, and he'll get that award in absentia there. So, Pierre, I'll let you move on here to the. Or I'm sorry, no. Actually, we're going to talk to Andrew Kinsella next, because this is the Iron Man Award, presented by Clipping That Apex. And Andrew, we're all waiting with bated breath here to see who wins that Iron Man Award tonight.
Yeah, so the Iron Man Award is the most miles covered over the course of the Lionheart season, and it came down to 4 drivers: Adam Blocker, Dan Guerin, John Hill, and Tyler Graff all had a shot at it. But taking home the $50, the 11x14 custom art from Clipping That Apex, 100th running Indy 500 magnet, and 100th running Indy 500 lanyard, 2 IMS shirts, and 2 more prints will be Adam Blocker.
Yeah, you have to buy some more ink, George.
I'm ready, baby. Let's do this.
Yeah, obviously, important part of winning a championship is running as many laps as you can in the race. So definitely keeping out of trouble was pretty important this season for me. Not easy, especially in some of the super speedways, had some trouble. But yeah, definitely proud to win this award. And yeah, just want to thank everybody for the clean racing and for not wrecking me.
And that's the most important part, not wrecking you, right?
If I could interject real quick, I just want to say that John Hill won our cleanest driver award at 1.45. Adam Blocker finished as our champion at 1.50. So he was that's impressive. Congrats on that too, Adam. Even though you didn't win that award, you were darn close.
All right. Well, Adam, more hardware for the case there, buddy. But it's we're happy you got it. But it's the Turning Point Award that we're going to turn to next here, everybody. And that Turning Point Award is set up for a very special person. Pierre is going to present that for us. The Turning Point Award presented by Viva Motorsport. Pierre, who
So
we got?
the Turning Point Award was originally an idea that we had in the offseason. I think it was 2 seasons ago, to give guys who may have not had a fantastic first half of the season something to strive for in the second half of the season. And this year, the award is presented by Viva Motorsports. The winner will get $50 a set of 4 custom coasters from Viva Motorsports and a couple of Indy 500 gizmos and a couple of prints also. And for this year, he gained 18 positions in the last half of the season. He went from 26th to 8th. I'm talking about Mr. Brian Yazik. Congratulations on being the Turning Point winner.
Thank you. I guess it was a good reason to have a crappy start to the season. Worked out nice.
Well, congratulations, Brian. Turning it around is well, I mean, yeah, we probably all knew you weren't going to be that bad all season. Come on, seriously.
I mean, Sean, it was just kind of the way things unfolded. First of all, before I get lost in all this, thanks to George and David and Pierre and everybody, Tyler, Alex, everybody behind the scenes. I probably missed a couple of them. Brandon, Andrew. See, there we go. I just went looking up the list again. For kind of making everything run in the background and giving us a spot to go. Viva Motorsport. That's going to be cool. Getting some coasters. I can justify that to the wife. So that's pretty cool. But no, first half of the season, just wrong place, right time. I changed jobs over the summer or in the spring too, and that missed us a couple races and just everything all just kind of went chaotic from there. But then, I mean, we hit Michigan and it just, everything was clicking and kind of felt like I was driving the best that I'd ever had in this wheeling this HPP machine. So that was kind of cool. So getting recognized for it's kind of nice. Didn't have the last 3 weeks to be nice for it. Number could have been a lot more impressive, but all in all, still a solid effort. Hopefully, and fun fact, for the 3rd year in a row, I finished 7th in the points, so that's cool. Yeah. So,
well, hey, that's better than I finished in the league.
I mean, this is Vegas, man. 3 7s. I'm gonna be a hot commodity.
It's got to mean something. But hey, listen, congratulations, Brian. We'll certainly be talking to you soon. And enjoy that set of coasters. And I hope the wife enjoys those as well. But it's time to bring George back in here with Pierre, because we certainly have a big announcement here, and this is this is all about where we're going, not where we've been anymore or what we've accomplished. This is really this is the big part of the show that I think everybody hangs out for, George, that they really want to hear, and that is, of course, what's coming up next year. Why don't you just go on with it, buddy?
Absolutely. Again, as I said earlier, we can't be more excited for 2020. 2020 season 8 for the Lionheart IndyCar Series is just around the corner. We're going to be starting back up again in March. There is a few different things. This upcoming season, we're bumping it down to 20 rounds, which I think is going to keep the championship a lot tighter. Give the viewers and fans and drivers that much more intensity as the season progresses. I think we'll probably come right down to the wire. We'll see how that all plays out, but we're definitely excited to have our schedule down to 20 rounds. I think it's going to be just exciting and intense, like I said. Also, one of the biggest things that we've got going on is that we've recognized over the years that the interest in Lionheart is increasing from season to season. There are drivers and new applicants looking to join the league. It seems like after every broadcast, and that's just a testament to the action and driving that's being displayed on track, as well as the amazing coverage that's being taken place each and every round by you guys here at the Global SimRacing Channel. And so with that, we've kind of analyzed things, and we've decided that it's about time that we open the doors and provide some more opportunities for up and coming drivers, as well as drivers who, for the most part, maybe have sat idle in wait and in hopes of making it to the big show on Wednesday night. The fact of the matter is there's really only so many spots available. In fact, for 2020, we are decreasing the roster size to a maximum of 33 to 35 drivers. So that is going to make entering Wednesday night even that much more of a challenge. We're certainly looking to up the ante each and every season with the competition level, the commitment, and the excitement, right? That's our slogan. This is Lionheart. So with that, this second series is going to give some opportunities for those drivers, give an opportunity for the admin team to evaluate the future of Lionheart and see these new drivers who are interested in being a part of this league and this organization. And from there, we'll have basically an even larger roster pool to pick from, and those drivers will have opportunities to run on Wednesday night. So to keep it short, we are adding one more rung in the ladder to Wednesday night. And so, yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to use the banner of the Challenge Series, which is typically the series that we've used for our off-season. Short series are more of our relaxed series in the off-season, but we're taking the Challenge Series and we're now going to focus that series specifically with the DW12, excuse me, the IR18. So the IR18, and it's going to follow very closely to the 2020 schedule for the IndyCar Series. So we'll use the same great setups from Andrew Kinsella. And again, like I said, we'll follow the schedule closely. It'll be a 16-round series versus the 20-round. A little bit shorter distances, but again, I think it's going to be a great proving ground for those up-and-coming drivers who are looking to join us on Wednesday nights, and we're certainly excited to see that, and we're looking forward to the future of Lionheart. So, drivers that are interested, please visit our website, LionheartRacingSeries.com, and click on that registration tab and look us up. So, with that, I guess we can go ahead and talk a little bit about our 2020 upcoming schedule.
All right, George. Well, that's certainly exciting news. Let's talk about that 2020 schedule now. Pretty hefty schedule. Some changes, and all looking very positive. Everybody seems to be very excited about what you've laid forth here so far.
Here, do you want to kick us off and go over the
Sure.
first couple rounds? All right.
Sure. So for this year, when we built the schedule, we wanted to have a more classical Lionheart schedule. So tracks that are closer to IndyCar. So we didn't want to go to Europe and do Spa like we did in previous years. We really wanted to stick to something that was more familiar. So here we go. Let's go down the dates. So the first race of the season, of course, like every season, starts at Homestead. The second race of the season will be at Watkins Glen. Third race at Phoenix. Fourth at Kentucky. Then we go to Michigan. Then back on the road course at Barber. The Motegi Oval is back also for another year. And then we have the double duty. A lot of people have been asking us to bring back Indianapolis road course. It will be there, and it will be right before the Indy 500. Then we're following this with Sonoma. And for this year, I want to mention that Pocono is not a Triple Crown race. This year, the 3 Triple Crown races are Michigan, Indianapolis, and California Speedway, or Auto Club as it's known, and they will all be 500-mile race. So full distances, and they will be run on the weekend. So that should be very interesting. Following Sonoma will be Pocono, then the classic Iowa, Chicagoland, Phillip Island, Atlanta. We're going back there, yes. Gateway, Mossport, Kansas, Road America, and then finally, just like tonight, we close down the season at Auto Club.
Also, real quick, just wanted to note that for the very first time, we're going to celebrate qualifying for our Indy 500. So we actually are going to have a special qualifying broadcast live, and that's going to be very exciting. So that's something to look out for. But definitely, this is going to be an exciting season. I'm super excited about the 500 milers. We're really bringing some extra significance to the term Triple Crown. So we're looking forward to that, and definitely what 2020 will bring. Who will be the 2020 Lionheart champion? Can't wait to find out. It all starts in March at Homestead, 3/11/2020.
All right, so March. So basically, folks, you've got just a few days to get ready for next season, and it's time to start practicing again. George, what an amazing season! What an amazing schedule announcement! But none of this happens without all the great sponsors that you've got. I know you'd like to thank them.
Absolutely. First and foremost, I want to thank Brandon Limkeman, his family, and First Medical Equipment. As you heard, they've been with us for 4 strong seasons. They are the primary reason that Lionheart has been doing what it's been doing for the last 4 years. Without their support, we just wouldn't be able to provide everything that we have given to our drivers for the last 4 years. They basically have given so much and asked for so little in return. I can only hope that we've lived up to their expectations. So again, I cannot thank you, Brandon, and your family enough for what you've done for this series and this league, and for all the drivers. From the bottom of my heart, again, Lionheart just wouldn't be the same without what you've contributed over the past 4 years. So we cannot thank you enough. Moving on, we have a slew of sponsors that joined us for 2019. They've contributed quite a bit, especially starting off with Sim Experience by providing the AccuForce Pro V2 for our season champion. What an amazing prize to give away to someone as deserving as Adam Blocker. It definitely shows that Sim Experience is willing to give the best, and Lionheart has been able to provide the best for the drivers who've proven themselves over a long and grueling season. So as far as our sponsors, we can't thank Plasma Tracks enough. Plasma Tracks will be providing our end of season trophies. They've been with us for a while, and they've been doing a fantastic job. Minus 273, those guys have been amazing. They came on board here in 2019. They've put up a bunch of gloves for our drivers. They've, personally speaking, I've ran with their gloves all season long. They've been fantastic. We can't thank them enough. iRacing iFlag coming on board again for 2019. Clipping that Apex. Scott, the owner there, has created some amazing art. As you guys know, he created that wonderful piece, our Patrick Taylor Memorial piece. He's done some custom work for myself, and he's provided custom work for several of the recipients here of our various awards. And again, he's doing some amazing work. So we're so happy to have him with us. Turn Racing, Zach, producing some amazing wheels. Again, we are looking forward to building on that relationship in 2020. Midwest Simulation, Scott Rupp, providing a fantastic tool for all of our drivers with his spotlights, helping keep the action clean on track, race in and race out. What a fantastic product. Again, I can't thank Scott enough. Track Racer coming on board, providing a discount for our members. They're producing amazing sim rigs. The Sim Pit, Sean Cole, thanks again for all his support and talking about Lionheart on the show. It was really nice. We actually had several members, fans of the Sim Pit, that found out about Lionheart through his show, and they've been on track with us this season. John Hill being one of them, taking home the cleanest driver. So congrats to him, and Sean for all his work and effort. Mark Cohn with the DMLC Racing Channel, just spreading the word about Lionheart. Again, can't thank him enough for his efforts. Looking forward to working with him in 2020. Our friends at Guys, Games, and Beer, those guys, again, just spreading the word about Lionheart with their fun and lighthearted commentary. just being on board. All these sponsors, fantastic. Also want to thank all of our individual race sponsors. Many people may or may not know this. Our drivers have essentially footed the bill for our broadcasts for several seasons now, and in many instances allowed us to use their funds to create title sponsorships for our main 2019 sponsors. So the drivers, again, without their support, Lionheart is definitely in a different place, and I don't see the growth happening as it has over the years. So again, thanks to all our guys who stepped up and contributed to the series in sponsoring our races. Thanks again to GSRC, iRacing, the IESN, all of our drivers, all of our fans. Again, thanks again, everyone, for being a part of Lionheart in 2019. We're so happy and so proud to have everyone a part of Lionheart. Our hope, again, is to produce a product that is worth everyone's time. And we're looking to do that again in 2020. So with that, I'd like to thank everyone one more time, and we can't wait to see you again in March. Thanks again, everybody. Really appreciate you guys.
And our thanks here at GSRC to you, George, and everybody, all you guys here in the Lionheart IndyCar Series. Guys, it's been a real blast, but it's time to wrap it up one last time here for this season in the IndyCar Series. Now, don't forget, everybody's still watching. We've got the Retro Series finale tomorrow night, the Lotus 79. Same time, same place, right here on the iRacing Esports Network. But real quickly, I want to thank everyone that's been part of this broadcast all season. I want to thank Soup, our good friend Bill Soup Zahn, who led this broadcast for most of the season. We're still not sure if he's going to be back for next season, but we sure hope he is. We'll see. But we want to wish him, his family, well here at the holidays. We want to wish all of you guys here in the Lionheart IndyCar Series, all you and your families, a very Merry Christmas this year, and we'll see you in the new year, fellas. But listen, for right now, that's it. We want to remind you that, of course, you can go to the LionheartRacingSeries.com, and you can find out everything you want to know about them there, and anything you want to know about their great sponsors. All you have to do is click on the link for the 2019 sponsors, read up on them. But we also want to remind you that the original music on every GSRC broadcast comes courtesy of June Lalonde. See the screen for how to contact her on the screen now, or just some of the companies, equipment, and software that make this broadcast possible. Folks, the Lionheart IndyCar Series returns in 2020, March 11th. George announced it. It's happening. So GSRC and IESN will be there to bring you all the action. We hope you join us then. We've got some upcoming broadcasts there on the screen. Check those out. Mark it down on your calendar. If you'd like out more information about the Global SimRacing Channel, you can visit our website, globalsimracingchannel.com. We also have a merchandise store there where we're going to give some free stuff to a couple subscribers before the end of the year. Find us on social media, Facebook, Global Sim Racing Channel, Twitter, at GSR Channel, Instagram, GSRC_Graham. And while you're there, and if you haven't done it yet, subscribe here to IESN and subscribe to GSRC here on YouTube. But finally, on behalf of the men whose voices you just heard, that'd be all the guys in the Lionheart IndyCar Series, my partner Richie Hearn, Amjad Yaman, Dougie Beard, again, Bill Subzan, thank you, sir, for all of your contributions here. I'd like to thank all of you for watching Adam Blocker get his final win of the season in the Sim Experience Championship 300 at Auto Club Speedway. But with that said, everybody, for Soup, we're all going to run off, storm the castle. So till next time, race clean, race hard. We'll see you on the track.